You, what up, y'all? I'll let some of y'all join up. I seen Craig English said he want to try them hands, man. Craig, I don't want no trouble, man. I'm a peaceful man, man. I don't want to get my ass kicked today, man. Or ever. I have had it kicked quite a few times, though. But I gave as good as I got. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to try these hands, come to Philly, man. We could spar or something, man. It might be fun. You never know. You might fuck me up. But to everybody else, hello. You know what I mean? Hello. How y'all been? I see PZ Alfuego, like the name. Shannon Glassford. You need to have like an alias or something, Shannon. That sounds like your government. Dax on, what's up? Cowboys Vet 71. Hoodlum, what up? Jermaine Young, my young brother. I ain't seen you in a minute. Jermaine done got himself a girlfriend or some shit, man. He disappeared on me, man. You can always tell when your brother's in love because they stop calling your ass, man. That's to you, man. That's to you, man. That's messed up, man. I ain't seen this since last week. He's gone. Gone, goddammit. All right, Amp Sports, what's good? Sadiqa Charles, what's up? Sin City Cowboys, Jerry Gars. Jerry Gars, what's good, man? How you? Craig English again. Sadiqa, Sin City, that's everybody. Oh, no, is it? Is it? I don't want no trouble, Craig. Ty Church, what's good? Davey, yo. Yo, VI Cowboy. He said, Wagwan. Wagwan. My Jamaican brothers. C. Nicole, what's up with you? Dave Jenkins, what's up, man? Appreciate the text earlier. And again, my condolences, brother. And 704 DC for life. What's up, man? I think that's everybody. Well, what we're gonna do today is it's gonna be a fun day. I don't know how much time I got. Well, I got as much time as I want, but I don't know how long I'm gonna sit up here. Put it that way. I'm gonna sit as long as I want to sit, but and as long as it takes us to get through the conversation, I guess. But I got to go through Matt Eberflus's defense, so we can get an understanding for what's going to be required and who really uh, we should be looking at this season as to why it could be an issue. You never know. It depends. But historically, it has been. So what I'm going to do is take y'all through the history of what has plagued the Cowboys as far as run defense. And then I'm going to go through the style of play or the scheme that Matt Eberflus deploys and how teams attack him, how we attacked them in 2022, how teams attacked him in 23. How do teams attack him? Now, I will say in 2022, the other reason that he may not be an overnight or 1-year fix, and you guys should prepare yourself for it, is because when he took over the Chicago Bears in 2022, prior to him having the draft picks that he wanted or having the players buy into his scheme, Eberflus was ranked 31st in the league versus the run. Why though? And it's probably because most of the time, his team, his defense was down offensively and probably getting run only a little bit more. But beyond that, probably took a little while for his players to step up and buy into the scheme, because in 2023, he went from being the bottom to the very top. He was number one versus the run in 23, according to NFL.com, I think it is, yeah. But yeah, so I wanted to see, like, what was the difference? Did teams attack him differently? Not really. Teams attack this defensive attacking 4-3 scheme or attack front scheme the same when he deploys it seems. And that means the way he sets the edge leaves some room to be desired, because your corners are asked to do a lot more when it comes to coming down and tackling. So his scheme requires like gritty, rugged, Peanut Tillman types, your Charles Woodson types, your Antoine Winfield types, right? They got to come down and hit. Bland is one of those guys that will come down and smack you. Hall in the preseason has been coming down and hitting pretty good. But across the board, your corners, and he said this himself, when my corners tackle, we'll have a good run defense, because his scheme requires that the corners be able to tackle very well and pursue and take the right angles, because he does a lot of things with his defensive ends where he wants them kind of crashing inside, and he does some slants and different things where they may not be setting edges every play. You can see what happens when it's not working or when he's guessing incorrectly with those slants, and then you'll see what his corrections are. I used the Chiefs game in 2023 to show that. But we're going to get into it. So y'all ready? Let me know. Texas T, what's up? Soto, what up? I think that's everybody. Everybody. All right, let's do it. Let's pull in first. Let's pull in what he was doing, right, and then we'll show you how we were attacked, how we attacked it. I mean, so let's watch the Ravens versus where do we want to go first? Let's just look at 2022. And again, this isn't a breakdown. I'm just kind of talking as this goes through. I'll put this up this way so that you guys can see how many yards he gave up per play in this particular game. This is a 17-minute video, so I'll be cutting 2 in from it. But what I wanted you guys to pay attention to in the 49ers game was, where do you see him being attacked? And this is why it'll be something that may be an issue here, maybe not. But we have problems and historically have problems with the edges and setting our edges. And that's exactly where teams, offensive coordinators, like to attack Eberflus in regards to this defense. I think this film is more so the full game, how the San Francisco 49ers attacked them. And this is with Trey Lance. The Bears won this game 19-10. But I don't want to show this video just yet because I want to focus on the run. This has some pass in it, so I will remove this one, and we'll get to sharing what what they did against us. Hold on a second. Let me show that. Okay, video details. Dallas issues with the run. Offensive breakdown. What's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys? All right, let's do that one first. Boom. That was the wrong one. This is the wrong one. But let's go back. I'm sorry about that. I want to share just Eberflus first. Then we'll get into what we did to them. Sorry about that. Hold on a second, people. Share screen. Dallas Cowboys offensive breakdown. Here we go. All right. Let me blow this up and come back over here with y'all. Press play. Okay. All right. So this is what we did. This is actually a video I did years ago, but it's relevant today because this is Matt Eberflus's Chicago Bears defense, but this was his first year with them. And he did some good things, did some bad things. Dak did some good things. Dak did some bad things, and we watched it all. So we're going to go over the techniques that were deployed, how they would or wouldn't work today, which we think they will. And then you look at certain positions and key roles on this defense against us to see what style of play we should see out of the guys that we have here, because this is kind of what Matt Eberflus expects. Now, the first thing that stands off the screen is, obviously I told you before, it's a vision-based defense. So vision-based defenses, they generally get a lot of turnovers because they're always looking at the quarterback, and any pop-ups, any infractions at the line of scrimmage or anything that happens at the line of scrimmage is going to be kind of erased by the fact that, those guys are looking at the ball the whole time. Okay. So Dak did a good job, and Dak does well against these defenses because he'll move you with his eyes pretty well. Right. But you can see how Eberflus tried to stop Dak here. Right. And I will pause this so I can get a little bit more control of the video, but you see how he tries to attack Dak. Right. So if we go back to right about here, right, you see here at the top of the rest of the screen, right, those safeties that are in the middle of the field, they're doing like what you call robbers. So one is playing single high, and the other one is kind of crashing down or slashing across diagonally across the field so that he can intercept those digs, in breaking routes, crossing routes, or anything deep breaking in. That's what he wants, right? So you can see he's ISO. Gallup at the bottom of the screen is ISO. Your corners are they're asked to do a lot in this scheme because Eberflus protects everything in the middle. He controls the middle of the field. He'll set some traps in the middle of the field, but primarily your corners, both sides, usually are out there on an island, really. And it's not because he doesn't give any help outside at all. It's just the way he'll tilt his defense. He might flip, and he does this with the defensive line too, but he might flip the coverage so that they're rolling over to, let's say, your number one receiver, right? And then he'll single up your number two, and your number two will be by himself. So Gallup here would be by himself, and he has to win that against maybe your top corner or a top corner. And that's what you'll expect from Bland, and you'll expect from Diggs in this defense when they're healthy. That's why I think they will eat, because they are ball hawking corners that are pretty good. They have good ball skills, and they damn sure can locate the football. And if you're going to help everything else or take away everything in the middle, you're forcing quarterbacks to throw the ball outside. So not only does he force you to throw outside, he forces you to run outside because of the way he uses his linebackers. He attacks your line of scrimmage, and you have to throw and run outside. But you see here, Dak moves that safety inward with his eyes, and then he gets back to Gallup, right? Now, as he gets back to Gallup, he has to let that ball go immediately because he doesn't have much time because he just moved that safety out of there. On the edges, now this is where it gets kind of sketchy, right? When it comes to Eberflus, and it never stopped. It's just certain teams didn't have the personnel to do it. But speed off the edges, obviously, that sounds like, okay, of course, speed off the edges kills. But speed off the edges, as far as running at the edges with fast backs or scat backs, seem to gash him, because I saw it with Pacheco in the Chiefs film. I've been watching a lot of Eberflus just to get an understanding for what I should expect from not only Mozzie, but everyone else on this defense, because I just want to see what it looks like when he thinks is being done right, in his opinion, so I can get an understanding for what he wants, right? So that's what I like to do. That's what I'm doing. So I brought you guys with me. I haven't, obviously, this video was already broken down, but the rest of the footage, I haven't cut it up. So I'll be breaking this down or talking live based off what I see. I haven't sat down and done anything because my dogs shat all over my garage today, and I've been spending all day cleaning up dog shit. Yep. But that's that's the truth. Anyway, I ain't get no time to cut nothing up. But here we go. Let's see. All right, now you see immediately off the edge, boom. That's Henny when he was here, and that's Ferg. So they both sealed the edge right there, creating an opening for Pollard, and Pollard just took off on him. And so we had some success off the edges against this defense as well, right? And I just wanted you guys to see that. And that's really the way you attack them, both in the air and on the ground. You see here, they're going to run these corners and safeties off, both CD and Gallup at the bottom of the screen, and that's going to open up a soft spot for Pollard after this play fake. So he's going to play fake the Pollard here. Boom. Pollard's going to sneak out. There's no one in the flat, because that safety was because obviously he didn't call a play that covers the flat either. This is like cover 4. So there's no one in the flat. The linebacker's job is just to chase and tackle on this play. But you see how much room they gave up on this play, right? This is what Eberflus generally likes to deploy as far as his zone coverages. He do a little bit of cover 4, some cover. He mixes it up a lot, but it's cover 4, cover 3, a lot of cover 2. He'll mix some blitzes in there, and then he'll when he does do cover 1, or he goes cover 1, he'll set traps. So usually when he's disguising things, it's man. Usually. In this film anyway. I don't want to say usually because people are like, oh, you're lying. I know I would, but I found film when he didn't do that at all. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to get into that. But usually in the film that I watched, that's what he would do. So let's see what we're doing here. Again, I don't know what's happening on this play yet. Let's see. Oh, I know what this one is. So this is a misdirection play. So these types of plays will always plague his defense because they're all using their eyes. Now watch everybody follow that play fake. They're following CD, right? And then they're going to sneak Hendershot, I think, or this is Shoemaker. I think it's Henny. But it snuck Shoemaker. No, that's Schultz. Back out across this across the offense. You see how they snuck that tight end back across the offense? Because it's singled up out there with your corner, boom, and it's just him and Dak. You know what I mean? So your corners in this defense have to be able to tackle, and so and your defensive ends have to be disciplined. And those are two issues that we've had historically with the Cowboys, and I'll show you that later in a second. But right now, I want you to see how you attack his defense, and then I want you to see how we historically have been bad when we were attacked, and it matches up. So it's like, okay, hopefully we're able to I guess mitigate some of the things that you see here. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. I like Eberflus, but I'm just looking at how I would attack them or how anybody else would during the season if they're a smart offensive coordinator. See here, boom. Again, another reason why your corners have to tackle. He does the teams that played against him deployed a lot of bubble screens, smoke screens, a lot of quick throws to the outside, forcing your corners and safeties not only to deal with blocks, but to come down and tackle. Because the way you want to attack them is you want them to start converging to the line of scrimmage so that you can try to get something behind them, right? You can't do it without that because those corners play soft unless you make them come down and challenge you in his defense, right? This is cover two. Obviously, Schultz just found a soft spot underneath Roquan. And if you want to watch what Roquan is doing on this play, now that you know what the play is, so watch Roquan. Roquan's job is deep middle. So this is a high-low concept for a middle linebacker, right? This is how you attack a middle linebacker who, even if they can cover, this is how you attack them. Even though some know how to take away this threat deep right here, boom, without giving up everything. So like a Fred Warner might put his foot in the ground and start to converge on that on Schultz right about now. But Roquan and Edwards kind of flow up there, boom, and wait. And it was Edwards actually that had deep middle. But Dak was able to sit that ball down right underneath them. Now here, remember I said that he'll sometimes switch it up. You'll think it's zone, and then he'll throw some man in there. This is match man, and he threw a little blitz in here too. But it's going to look like the middle of the field is open again, I believe. So I think that Schultz again. He's going to read this hot. So is Dak, and he's going to sit this down right there. Boom. But they were in match man, not zone. Boom. Cool. Same concept again. Now Dak was forcing or asking Gallup to win on the outside in this game because you can already see. Just look at the top of the screen up there. That's where all the bodies are, right? They're in man, but that's where all the bodies are. Okay. So Dak's like, listen, there's traffic. There's always going to be traffic in the middle of the field. So he's forced to throw on the edges, and you have to, if you're Gallup, you have to win outside, or otherwise, there's really nowhere else to go with the football if you're Dak, right? You have to win outside if you're these receivers or any receiver against this defense. You have to win fast outside. So again, it's going to be an interesting season to watch. It's going to either expose Diggs and Bland, or take them to another level of greatness. Here you can see some of the things that can confuse Eberflus's defense because he's running zone right now. That corner at the top of the screen, don't know his name, but that corner at the top of the screen is in quarters coverage, meaning he has that 25% of the field to his side, right? Up into the hash or up into the numbers, really, in quarters, right? So CD is going to run a jet sweep across the field, and instead of stopping in the flat, he's going to run up the field, right? So that's flooding the zone for that corner. So now that corner is going to have to cover two people, right? And then it either puts that corner on two people or forces CD into a mismatch with that safety who circled up there, which is good. I liked what the Cowboys were doing in this game. I don't know if this might have been some Kellen Moore. I don't know, but it was beautiful. I like what I saw here. You see here? So that corner is worthless when it came to what CD's doing. So that safety knows, hey, I have to pick this up. But he's already all the way outside, out leveraged. Made it very easy for CD on this play. Very easy. These are some of the things that we'll see in this season, during the season. Teams like San Fran, Miami, those schemes deploy a lot of these motions and a lot of these pre-snap motions that gave Eberflus some trouble this season. And I think the reason it gave his defense trouble in 2022 is for obvious reasons. They were just starting to gain an understanding for his scheme in particular, right? Maybe the reason of Roquan Smith didn't play the next year as well. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like it there. But either way, they weren't fully bought in, and they didn't fully understand what was going on yet, and it showed. Because the very next season, 2023, their defense looked totally different. Not as far as schematically, just the way they executed. Mm-hmm. Dallas looked pretty good in this game, though. I thought that they were attacking. They were taking what the defense gave them and attacking correctly in most instances. I liked this game. I don't remember the context as to why I made this video, to be honest with you. I mean, other than the title, like what's really happening out there, kind of showing what Dak was doing. All right. Oh, this was a good play for you to see. So these are some of the things that you'll see. There's a lot of stunts and a lot of slants in this defense, right? So sometimes let's just say, for instance, if you guys are paying attention, you know what an outside zone is. So if there's an outside zone going to the left of the screen or Dak's right, right? If this were outside zone and he were to hand this ball off to Pollard running to the outside, anywhere over there, on this particular play, the front, meaning the front four, was asked to slant right or crash right. Now, had he handed this ball off, you tell me what would have happened on the ground if this were an actual run play. It's not, but if it were, what would have happened? Okay. If that were a run play, the entire defensive line slanted to the right. You see that? And that defensive end on the edge here he's out leveraged. He's inside the B gap already. So he either has to shoot up the field so fast that Pollard wouldn't be able to get across here. But at this point, Pollard wouldn't be where he is right now. If it were a run, he would be kind of in the B gap almost. But if this ball were to be handed off going this way, it's only Roquan Smith and a tight end. But he would have got caught on the slant pretty much. This is what I mean. Sometimes you'll see the defensive line, even in our defense this year, you'll see them slant out of position and get beat on runs. And that's because Eberflus is a gambler. He's a gambler up front. He guesses. And sometimes you'll get splash plays because of it. Sometimes you're going to get big plays for the offense because of it. Because you see here, let me just start it again. No, and when I say slant, no one's pushing them to their right. They're all in unison, taking a step to their right. Everyone. See, that's what they were asked to do. Boom. See that? So they all now, even if Dak was just scrambling here, even though he's not, but even if he was just scrambling there, it would have been a problem, right? So you can see why there's issues on the edges at times, and that's because his whole defense, they will get out of there. They will skedaddle because he asked them to slant or crash right or left in unison. And sometimes he does that. He does that at the wrong time. Right. Boom. So this is a run down the middle of the field. So you see Pennell here. We got a double team on Pennell, 64 at the bottom of the screen, and the number 90. I don't know who that is. I don't know his name, but 90 there. They're both widened out. So Roquan, his name is Roquan, not Raekwon. Roquan shoots this gap as he should. Right. So boom. They're looking at a stretch. They're thinking this is a stretch play just from the initial read. So Roquan shoots this, thinking, "Hey, I got to get in this gap." But you see, Martin was waiting for him. Martin gets a piece of him. So let's see here. Boom. This is good running by Tony Pollard too. But this is why quick backs can give them some problems. Boom. That's good run by Tony Pollard. You see, Martin has Roquan here. Boom. Tony cuts off of that and still does the rest. And that's it. There's nothing. And now he's just dicing the secondary for a touchdown. Pollard did a lot of good shit on this play. This one almost made me forget who Tony Pollard was. I said, damn, I missed that guy. Watch this. This is dope shit right here. Watch this. Boom. Now, they got to tackle better, obviously. You know, that I don't consider that an opening or even a flaw in the scheme. I thought that was just a flaw in the angles and effort from the defense. But again, you might get some of that this year because guys don't know where they should be. All right, so what are the Chicago Bears in? Dak wants to know, right? So Dak's going to move these guys. Boom. All right, boom. Now you see he gets this safety to convert. Now he knows, okay, if he's in, that safety is manned up or blitzing. Yeah. Then he's like, okay, they're either zone or blitz because nobody's following. Nobody followed 18, whoever that is. Right. So now that he sees, okay, nobody followed, well, I know it has to be zone or blitz or it's match man from a weird position. But either way, they're out leveraged, right? So Dak doesn't know who's coming, right? So the play action will pull the linebackers. You can see here, this is what happens against vision defenses. The play action is going to pull those linebackers where he wants them, and they're going to slide the protection to that side, still on the back end. And then Dak gets so already Dak is already understanding that it's in zone or blitz, and now he needs to understand like who's coming or going. So now he knows, okay, it's just zone. He can see that it's just zone. No one blitz. There's no pressure. Dak knows that by the time he gets to the bottom of his drop right there. Boom. All right, so now you see what they're running. They're running cover 3, right? Boom. They're running cover 3. Dak recognizes this, finds a soft spot with CD over there, and that soft spot again. It's the same soft spot that CD caught the touchdown on, just a different concept, right? CD didn't run a jet sweep this time. He just runs a regular wheel route. I think this is. Let's see, or corner route. Let's see. Yep, he cuts inside first. I didn't watch what CD did from the beginning, but I'm watching him now. He's being pressed inside. Yep, he's ran a corner route. So he waits for Gallup to run that corner off because he knows he's in quarters coverage, and then he runs right into that jet stream. So right into that soft spot underneath the corner on the outside because he knows that corner is in zone. And if he's in zone, he has to play the first man that enters his zone. And the timing of the offense was perfect because it forced the corner at the bottom of the screen to. This is a high-low on this corner that's at the bottom of the screen, on a nickel back that's at the top of the screen. I mean, not the bottom. I'm sorry, but he's high-low, meaning he can either float under CD and leave the flat wide open for a first down or whatever, or he can squeeze the flat, which means he hugs the flat and comes down and covers the flat, and then that leaves that soft spot open for CD. But you can see how they wanted to attack this. Offensively, the Cowboys, and it was successful due to that concept. Boom. Nice. All right. Now, pre-snap, Dak's going to move these guys around. So pre-snap motions give everybody trouble. I don't think that's unique to Eberflus. But you can see, I think this was Kellen doing this. I don't think McCarthy did a lot of pre-snap motion, but Kellen did this, locked the safety in. Now he knows what they're doing. Boom. Let's see what's happening here. Same kind, similar concept. So he's flooding the zones of those corners. So the corners are going to be asked in this defense to do a lot, and they're going to be stressed the fuck out, especially Diggs when it comes to tackling. I don't see Diggs being a great tackler. I think he can tackle better than what people give him credit for, but he's going to be asked to be physical in this scheme, right? You see Jalen Johnson here. Boom. If he squeezes that tight end up the seam, he leaves the flat open, which he does. And boom, easy concept. It's like, hey, you make the decision and we're going to take what you give us. Touchdown. Get it? Now, that's not Jalen Johnson's fault. That is a weakness in the scheme, not a weakness in him. And the reason I say that is because, if he's in that zone, he has he should play it deep to short. So he plays the seam route first, which he should, right? He's going to play that seam route, which he should, and then he converges to the flat, right? But no matter which way he chooses, he's wrong. If he hugs the flat, he's wrong because he's not in cover 2. And if he doesn't hug the flat, he's wrong because, as you can see, it's going to result in a touchdown. So that's not his issue. That's a scheme issue. Even though us at home would look at the screen and say, Jalen Johnson got beat. No, he didn't. It's just the scheme. The scheme got beat here. And that's just the truth. That's true. Boom. Now, watch what Kellen Moore is doing with those tight ends, too. Everybody that's going across the screen. So, boom. Even if you were in man, he was going to get you, right? And even if Jalen converges on this wheel route for the running back, Malik Davis, I think that is, even if he meets him, right? You see at the top of the screen, you see Gallup coming back across the screen on that drag route right behind it. So this is all flood. This is a mesh concept, really, but he's flooding zones using the mesh concept. Boom. All right, let me get to the beginning of this play. Boom. Here they rerun inside. Easy. Too easy. All right, it's 2-man, 2-high man. That's what it looks like. With some pressure or some heat coming up the middle or off the edge. Let's see what they're actually doing. So Dak's going to move some guys around just to see what's going on. He's going to take, I think that's Tolbert into motion. All right, so he said, all right, he ain't coming. All right, boom. Let's see who's coming. This is a double slant concept. So the safety drives, which a safety will drive on this play, right? Boom. So he's in robber driving. So now Dak knows that second slant is where he's at. Man, this is why I say your corners are important. Them being physical is important because if Gallup catches this, you see what's behind it. Nothing. He's gone. If he catches that and breaks a tackle, he's out. But you got to have top corners in this scheme to play because the way he asks his corners to play, they have run responsibility. They have and then they have responsibility in regards to being like safeties in a sense because they're not getting as much safety help to the outside. They'll get it to the middle of the field, but not as much to the outside, especially not short. Obviously, you're not going to get that much help anyway if you're a corner and short. And if you can't stop a guy off a slant route or dig route short, you probably shouldn't be in the league. But either way, this is what our corners are going to be asked to do. You can see here Roquan probably didn't like this scheme because he's not the most athletic cover linebacker, but his job here is deep middle. You can see Schultz is going to squeeze right behind that. Boom, Dak sees it, gets that ball out with pressure in his face. Beautiful. Oh man, this is a beautiful breakdown, man. I don't even remember. Like I said, I didn't remember why I did this, but I like it. Boom, right in between the safeties, right over the linebacker. Beautiful. All right, that's enough of that. I think that's the end of that. Yep. Let me get back over here real quick. Boom. All right, let me see who else is in here real quick, and then we'll keep it moving. We're going to the next game. All right. What up, family? Devin Overton. Oh, Akoye Childress, sure as heck tackle. He a menace. Yeah, I like Childress too. Childress will tackle you. Hall will hit you. But you in this scheme, you better want to come downhill. You better hit. You won't be here. Yeah, they said Zion Childress. Everybody's saying Zion Childress for his ability to hit. Yeah, I like him too. He said, "You got me feeling sad now, fam." What you? He said, "We need to fire Matt now." No, that was Matt's first year with Chicago. I don't think his first year here will be great defensively either. But I don't think. I mean, I hope it will, but I don't. I wouldn't be mad if it's not. I just want it to be serviceable because they have to catch on to his scheme and get an understanding for what he wants. And he has to see what his players can do in live action. He doesn't know. He doesn't know these guys. He's hoping, and his job is on the line with a bunch of guys he doesn't know. So those that buy in will be here next year. Those who don't won't be here, right? But this year, there will be an adjustment period due to the fact that he don't know them, they don't know him, right? So, and he didn't pick them. So, but they're asking him to cook, and he ain't buy the groceries. So there will be some issues one way or the other because of that. But no, I don't think you should fire Matt. So stop that. Hey, y'all stop that because you're gonna say I started that and I did. Why do mainstream not pick up these things and still call Mozzie bad? I mean, listen, I have found some bodies. I won't front. I'm gonna show you those too. I found some bodies on Mozzie. I don't found some games that he wants back, but I could see when they happened, where they happened, and what happened after. So I'm assuming Zimmer must have told him something last year because the San Fran game, he looked, and the Detroit game, everybody. I mean, not just that wasn't a Mozzie thing. I think he probably told the whole defense that they were on the line for getting fired. Because when you watch the Detroit game, the entire defense, the whole line, everybody got manhandled like little boys. Even Dak got hurt that game. Everybody, we just got out physical that whole game. Everybody. But San Fran and the Lions game, Mozzie did not look good. And the Saints game, he looked okay, but he had some bonehead plays. But after the Lions game, Mozzie stepped up. And then from week 14 or week 13 on, he was playing solid football. But he still had his tendencies. You can see how his teams wanted to attack him then, but he played a lot better. But his division games, all of those were good. So when I watched Washington, when I watched the Ravens, even though they're not in the division, when I watched the Pittsburgh game, so the conference games against the AFC North, he played well against Cincinnati, the Steelers, and the Ravens and the Browns. He played good. So those 4 games he played played good, and then the other 6 games against the division he played good. So out of the season, he played good about 10 games, but there are about 5 that I would say he wasn't great at. And I found those now. I wasn't looking at I was looking at his toughest competition. But yeah, he got some bodies. So Mozzie got some bodies. I ain't gonna take him all the way off the hook. I'm gonna show you those just to be fair. Deano Wallace, he said Blue can do a lot of that Pollard stuff. Man, I ain't gonna crown him until I see it, but hopefully he can. People don't understand that schemes have weaknesses. They believe that there should be no completions. Yeah, that's bullshit. His schemes definitely have weaknesses, and they're found, if you're watching me, here. So slanting to the outside. If you were the quarterback looking at me, it would be to the outside. 15 yards to the flat. That's where you attack them. Whether you're running, screening, slanting, well, not even slanting, but out routes, bubble screens, stuff like that to the outside. 15 yards up to the flat. You don't usually get stuff over the top because he plays his corners off a lot. So he wants to keep everything in front of those guys. And you don't get a lot in the middle of the field because he guards the shit out the middle of the field. Or he'll give you things in the middle of the field on purpose, just like he's doing outside with the corners. Because even though, yes, you can attack it outside, he wants his quarters cascading down. And I can use this footage just to show you what I mean against let's look at while I'm talking, let's look at San Fran. Let me move this. Boom. All right, so let's watch what San Fran is doing against him, right? And so he's coming out and press very early in this game. Well, that's a run play. They know that was run. See how he's playing off on the outside, 22 at the bottom of the screen's playing off. Jalen Johnson does what he wants at the top, or Jordan, whatever his name is. Jalen, I think it is. Boom. He does what he wants at the top. He's in man coverage. I think they're all nope. They're not in man. He's in man. Only Jalen Johnson, I'm sorry, is in man coverage. I'll show you. So watch him. He's going to follow his man all the way across the screen, but no one else is. So that's how you know he was in man. So at the top, not this play, right here. At the top of the screen, you'll see Jalen Johnson in press, right? At the bottom of the screen, those guys are not in man. They're in like a cover 3 shell. So there's a weakness in the area that Jalen Johnson is vacating, right? So it's imperative that this front four either get there early. I don't think there's any blitzing coming off of this. Oh, yes, the safety. No, the safety's playing that jet sweep. So the safety is playing man against Deebo Samuels, or he's at least playing a flat zone. That in breaking route or that crossing route at the bottom of the screen by Ayuk, that corner is now on the upfield shoulder, and that safety is converging over the top of him. And you can see Jalen Johnson is carrying his man all the way, Jennings, all the way across the field. The safety in the corner at the bottom of the screen let Ayuk go because it wasn't called. They're all in zone except for Jalen. So there are soft spots that'll be naturally created just from the scheme. Now, obviously, he's like, hey, look, if they're running, I wouldn't run this play. The only reason I wouldn't run it, you can see at the bottom of the screen, that corner is playing outside. He has outside leverage, and he's playing over the top with outside leverage. So he's looking for a slant or a dig, right? But he wants something quick, right? This is a long developing play, which will break down the integrity of what he called because there's no one blitzing. There's no one blitzing here, right? And those two guys are in zone. So if you don't get to the quarterback here, and the misdirection stops you from getting to him because you got too many guys going in different directions. You got the line that was playing Deebo. So they all followed Deebo, the guys at the top of the screen. And the guy at the bottom of the screen is just playing contain on Trey Lance, right? So look here, boom. See, they're just containing Trey Lance at the bottom of the screen. So now that bought him time to wait for this crossing route, which he does. Boom, and Ayuk is right there. And then that crossing route at the top of the route right here it's a rub built into it. I'm going to show you where. Watch this right here. So watch 22. When 22 realizes he has to carry this, it's right here. Right? He knows I have to carry this across the field, but the safety already drove on it. Brisker, he's out of position. This creates a natural screen. Boom, right there. See that? Now, maybe that corner was in man. I don't think he was in man. I think he just bent inside in cover 3, but he now has to, he's playing match man now. He knows that's his man now, and he has to chase this ball. But he had a natural pick. That was from the safety. That wasn't a schematic issue. That was the safety just not doing his job correctly. So he read this wrong, and that safety got moved. Let's see what happened or why did he read it? Did he get pump faked? Let's see. A little shoulder puff right there by Lance, but nothing real. Boom. Wet game at that, too, so it's a little messy. Watch this. Let's see. All right. It looks like they're in cover 2. They are. Doesn't matter. They're running something on the edge. But you see how San Fran chose to attack them. Boom. Outside runs. That's how you attack this defense. And this is why it's imperative that your corners tackle, because you can see here they forced a fumble because their corners will hit you. Now watch 33. Watch Jalen Johnson. Watch what he does here. He's going to punch right there. You see him. He's about to punch this ball, and then Roquan is going to do the rest. Oh, no, Brisker does the rest. So it's either number 9 or 33, but both the DBs here have to – the DBs have to be able to hit, but your corners have to be physical because, number one, who's setting the edge? That's the other thing you should pay attention to. Watch 94. That's Robert Quinn. Okay, that could be Micah Parsons easily or Sam Williams in this defense. But that's Robert Quinn. Watch his first step. Boom. First step, he slanted inside, right? Okay. Remember I said sometimes you'll get the scheme calling a slant, and you're gonna blame Micah, which I don't. You're gonna blame Robert Quinn here, which I don't. If this were a big play, but it's not. It's just they called this jet sweep against a defense that asked 93 and 94 to slant inside, with no one setting the edge outside of that corner, number 33. So he asked his corners to set edges. And I'm going to show you the difference with Baltimore's defense. You'll see when defensive ends are asked to consistently set the edge and stay home versus when they're allowed to slant inside or crash the B gap sometimes, right? So 94's crashes here. This is Roquan is supposed to scrape over the top of this. And he knows he's late, but he's supposed to scrape here and get over the top of this. And all Jalen Johnson has to do is buy him time by setting a good edge. And that's what he's doing, right? He's setting that edge and he's keeping this play inside so that Debo doesn't have the outside perimeter to cut to. He can't see, he wanted to cut out there now, right? But 33 widen this out, stays where he's supposed to be, right? So if those of you guys don't know, this is team football. If 33 would have tried to make this play, cuts inside and misses, it's over. Instead of doing that, all he does is stay the fuck home and hold your ground. That's it. And let your guys do their job. Boom. And they do. And you are rewarded for it. Okay? But your corners have to tackle. They're playing off again here. Let's see where they choose to attack. Boom. They run right up the middle of the field this time with, I think this Debo. But watch how they attack. Let's see what we have here. I think this is a backside run. Oh, no. So this is just their running back, right? But again, they're going to slant out of there. And if you catch them slanting at the right time, so you see the linebackers already are adjusted to the motion. So they're already stacked, over leveraged to the right? But it's too late for them to call an audible in the front four and say, hey, crash. So the front four should probably crash left with those linebackers. If it were a run play, right? The front four should be crashing to their left and those linebackers can stay home. Or they should just play upfield and those linebackers stay home, right? But now that those linebackers are shifted, the defensive ends don't know. The defensive line doesn't know that you're shifted because they don't know what's going on behind them. They're watching what's in front of them, right? But it's too late in the play or in the play clock for that linebacker to tell the defensive line to do anything different, even if he could, right? So because they all might not get the message that you got guys doing a bunch of different shit. So whatever they were in. They're slanting to the right, because, and this is the reason that you would do that, because you say, well, why the fuck is he calling those? You see what hash mark they're on? They're on the far left hash, right? That means there's a lot of field to cover to the right. So they're assuming San Fran wouldn't want to use the short end of the field because they don't got a lot of space to run and maneuver over there. So Eberflus allocated all his resources, or most of them, to the right of the field. That's why he did it. Okay, just so you know. Okay, boom. Now everybody kind of slants. Well, they didn't even slant. Only 93 just got pushed kind of out of there. 99 comes down. He's playing that quarterback. He thinks he's playing the read, and he gets his legs cut out right there. Boom. And that was a good design by Shanahan. Come on, y'all. You're making too much noise. Sit down. My dogs. My bad. Okay. So you see that tight end that went across the screen? He's going to trap block 99. This is a beautiful play. Boom. 93 is going to get doubled out of there. Boom. He's out of there. And now it's just 81 and 99. And they're reading off of that. So he cuts inside. This looks like he's cutting inside, but he's really running a counter. He's going to counter right back into Briscoe, number 9. Right there. Boom. Right there. He just wanted that little bit of space. That looks a lot like this play, doesn't it? Watch this. I don't want to show that other play because I got to remove this to do it. But that looks like that touchdown by Tony Pollard I just showed you guys a minute ago, doesn't it? Same run almost exactly the same. Against the same defense. So it's kind of weird, but that's fun to watch. I see like little glimpses in it. Right here, boom, gets cut. Nice shit. Let's see what this is. Looks like they're in cover 3 up front. Where are they running? They faked the run to the edge, and now they opened up all. You see all that space at the bottom of the screen? Those linebackers are going to try to dart to get back to that. Hold on one more second. All right, I'm back, folks. It wasn't frozen. My dogs are acting up, so I had to go tell them to shut the hell up. All right, here we go. All right, see how much space they got though at the bottom of the screen? Now watch this. Boom. That corner is going to try to get up under this this crossing route that you see in the middle of the screen, right? You see that? Boom. And then those two safeties, or that corner at the bottom and that safety, are taking that deep man. You see on the back end, though, you can see where that tight end is now sneaking into the soft zone that is vacated by that corner who's chasing that crossing route. You see that? Y'all can see what's happening. So just so you can see what I'm saying, watch it from the beginning again. So watch the fake. Right. Now you see where the tight end starts? This actually happened to us in the Green Bay playoff game. That tight end sneaks across. So the tight end is going to sneak across the field. You see this? He's running like a rail route across the field. So he's going to go a drag across the field and then up the field. Right? What you will hope is that he's just dragging, because then those linebackers can pick him up. But their responsibility is, 10 yards off the ball. That tight end is going to sneak. He's just going to dart right now. You see him? He's darting up the field. So that corner is going to come up under, and this gives Trey Lance options soon at the top of the screen. As soon as he gets to the top of his drop, he has options. He can either throw to the bottom of the screen to that crossing route, but you can see that corner at the bottom of the screen is sneaking up on that, so he's underneath it. So Trey's like, look, I'm just going to hit this tight end up the field. There's no one there. And there's no one there because the way he deploys his scheme, especially when he has a top corner like Jalen Johnson, he even if he's running zone, he's telling his guy, hey, erase that man. And if you're watching film as an offensive coordinator, you wherever the number one corner is, you're going to have potentials in that game for soft zones like this, or soft spots in the zone like this, because everyone else will be playing zone and that corner will be playing man. And when he's doing that, he don't have that end of the field. So someone else has to either stop the ball before all this develops, so that he's relying on pressure to be able to do that, or there's going to be soft spots. There's really nothing else you can say about it, because whose responsibility is this? It's no one's responsibility, because his defense should be, if they're aligned this way, if everybody's playing cover 3, which they are right here, so everyone else is playing cover 3. Jalen is not, right? So that corner, if he were playing a true cover 3, Jalen would be over here in thirds coverage, meaning he would have this third of the field all the way into the hash almost, right? So Jalen's not, though. He's going to vacate this because he should, right? And because of that, there's an exchange right there. That nickel picks it up. He sees it, but he's too late. So it's over. Boom. Boom. But luckily, it's Trey Lance. But see, another team will watch this, which they did probably, and they will scout this and they'll say, okay, people watch the stats. They don't watch the misses. An offensive coordinator will watch this and say, although this was an incompletion, it was a very well designed play and it beat them. They just didn't execute it properly. But this won. They beat you with this. Just poor execution. That's a touchdown that was missed by Trey Lance. All right. Boom. Where are they attacking? Outside. All right. Let's see how he deploys it. All right. So watch the defensive end on this play. That's number 99. I think it is. Yep. Next to number 9. Let's watch what he does. Boom. All right. So he's doubled off the rip. He doesn't have edge. That means 99 needs edge. But now they're both out leveraged. I always hate this. I hated this when I saw it when we were playing with Quinn. And I hate it now. Don't let anybody stand outside of you if you're a defensive end. I just don't like it. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's watch the Ravens real quick, right? Let's watch them stopping the run on the edge real quick. You see number 99 out there? Watch 99 on this play to your left, okay? Watch how the Ravens use their ends. They don't allow you to out leverage them, meaning when I say out leverage, I mean instead of 99 standing head up with 83 or inside 83, where he's actually shading the right shoulder or the outside, left shoulder or the outside shoulder of 76. Instead of him doing that, he stands outside 83. Why? Because now he automatically has his edge set here, right? But he's going to get rid of 83. Boom. And now that pull, which was supposed to be getting to the second level and getting to this linebacker here, right? That pulling guard has to still deal with the defensive end who's here. And there's a guy behind him too. So they pulled 2 guys, right? Boom. See that? But he's going to deal with both. 99 is going to deal with both. And now Pacheco still gets taken down. Now, the reason I say it's a little different and a little harder in our scheme is because Eberflus asks his linebackers and safeties and corners and defensive ends. They all have to do this, right? On a regular basis because he'll crash you inside. You see what Baltimore's defensive ends, both of them. Watch 99 and 53. They're both at home surfing, both of them, right? And they're trying to keep everything in between those 2 guys, and that's their kill zone, which makes it easier for guys. And this is probably why Roquan Smith left, but it makes it easier for guys like a Roquan Smith, who's not a sideline linebacker. He's a downhill linebacker. If you want a downhill linebacker to play well, he needs a kill zone, meaning everybody has to keep it tight so that he can stay inside because he doesn't flow outside, right? As easy. Boom. Good play there, though, as you can see. All right, that's how it's supposed to. Now watch it on this play. Now here, you can see him playing head up on 83. He isn't widened out, right? But the other, they're shifted. So the other defensive end is widened out. But because he's not widened out, he has this corner. He doesn't want to obstruct the corner's path to Kelsey. So he's standing. That's why the scheme asks him to stand where he's standing right now, 99. So let's see what happens on this play. I don't remember. Boom. Boom. But he's still setting his edge from there. And so is the corner. They're both setting the edge, right? Now you can see the kill zone. You see Roquan Smith is running through it in the middle of the field. Now, how do you keep him there? 42 will bounce this outside, left or right, because he don't want to run at 0. He'll bounce this outside to the right. What happens? Those guys are leveraged. They have outside leverage, meaning they have contained. If he bounces out to the left, what happens? He tries it. Boom. Roquan, he breaks his tackle from Roquan, but look where everyone is. They all have outside contain. Everybody's just leveraged outside. There is nowhere for him to go. He got to stay with Roquan. You don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be there. Let's watch it in full speed. Boom. Got nowhere you can go. Everybody just stays home and does their job. Good shit. See it again. All right, so let's watch 99 deal with that. I think that's a fucking tight end or a wide receiver. Let's watch what he does with him. He just runs right by him. The guy doesn't block him. Boom. All right, so instead of crashing it, you see what 99 does there? Instead of peeking inside, right? Instead of trying to take an inside path to the ball right there, he looks like he is right here, right? Watch. He does this on purpose, though. He shows color inside, and so is 98. They're both showing color in that gap. But then he jumps back outside. Why did he do that? Because he knows that running back is reading that gap. And if he commits, if 99 committed And that's O. I think his name is Oa. I forgot his name. It's an African name. I'm bad with names anyway, and he got an African name, which is hard. So sorry, but if he overcommits to this gap here, to the B gap, it's a wrap. They're running back would have bounced outside. Boom. He had nowhere to go. He had to stay honest, stay in the middle of the field because of what 99 did there. Let's see it again. Boom. Let's see some. Same thing. Look at the defensive ends in this scheme. We've never done this, and neither does Eberflus. I will say Eberflus's defense though in 23 looked a little different, and I'll show you. He asked his defensive ends to do a little bit more, but as I said, he doesn't have his choice of defensive end this year, so we'll see what happens. But it's more than just the middle of the field, especially when you're dealing with Eberflus's defense that gets attacked. It's they. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs in 2023 ran 22 times to the edge. I'm going to show you all 22 runs. That's where they ran against them. They didn't run up the middle at all. They did do it some, but they didn't get any yards up the middle. Boom. Let's watch this play. And not against the Ravens. I'm talking about against Eberflus. Watch this. All right, let's see how they stop this. Boom. Just keep everybody in the middle and then allow your big guys in the middle to eat. They can't eat if you don't set the edge. They can't do shit. Boom. Here, edge is set. You see that? You see 99? Now watch it. Watch 99 again. He's their anchor up the front, right? He's always strong side. So he switches depending on where that tight end is. And that's what strong side is. Boom. But you see that? He makes sure he sets that edge. Because if he doesn't, this breaks outside. There's no one there. Cut this back in and let your guys eat. And now 90 knows he doesn't have any responsibility other than trailing. And you see that receiver here. Now, he does have this receiver out leveraging him. 90 does on the left. But he doesn't even care about him. He's not even going to bother dealing with him. He's just going to run right away from him. Boom. He just out leveraged him immediately. So now if he touches you, he's blocking you in the back. He can't even do shit. Boom. So just go to the ball. Good shit. You got to know where they can go. Those guys in the middle can't eat if 90 doesn't do his job here. 90 doesn't do his job there. He lets that tight end get outside of him. It is over. And we used to say that a guy who was here was great at stopping the run, which he was when he made splash plays. But it's a difference between hero ball and solid disciplined football. Sometimes hero ball make you look great. You're gonna do when you're having a good game. You're crazy good, and that was DeMarcus Ware. He was doing that. He looked crazy good in certain games, like that Detroit game. One time he went through 3 guys and 4 guys and got to the ball. But when he doesn't get there, everyone else looks bad. So that's why you don't need no heroes. Let's go. All right, watch 99. Without 99 on this play, boom. Even here, see this? The edges. Now watch both of them. Actually, watch both defensive ends here. Watch them both. 99 edge with 90 edge. They're both set. They don't move. They don't come inside. They stay the fuck out there, right? So you can work that kill zone, because even if this were, let's say, Mozzie or Osa or whoever in the middle of the field, even though 92 has some trouble, he gets him down though. But even if he were to miss, look at the teeth behind him. Yes, 23 right there. You got other guys in the middle of the field. No one wants to run in there. There's bodies in there. You don't want to run outside. I mean, you want to run outside, but you can't. Now, this is us versus them. Same year. This is 20. Shit, what year was this? This is 2024, I think. I think this is last year. Yeah, this is 2024 because Guyton's on the field. This is 2024. And the reason I showed this because the Ravens were the #1 rush defense last year. The year before that, though, it was Eberflus. The Chicago Bears were #1 in 2023. It's crazy. All right. So that's probably why they went and got Eberflus, to be honest. But let's see what's up. Boom. See what happens here. Forget what Zeke doesn't do. Let's see what he could have done. All right. Look at the edges. So they have Hamilton blitzing off the back. There's nothing you can do there. Then look at the front side. Okay. There's nowhere. You're not getting nowhere in there. Zeke sees the seam, but he's forced to take a step inside because, well, honestly, Steele threw him there. So Steele was trying to get some space. That was a nice little shove, but still throws him off because they're trying to create a window right here on the edge, right? But it's BB BB is having trouble with that nose. BB gets beat by the nose tackle. And as a result, and then Hamilton on the back end is chasing that. So that play got blown up. Boom. 53. Now watch 53. Even though 53 is out leveraged by that other tight end, watch what he does to 83 to reset the edge or to change the edge. Watch this. Boom. That edge is changed. He's now playing. He has outside leverage, but look at how far inside he is, but still has outside leverage. So now Pacheco's stuck weird. Look at what he has to deal with. 0, 98, 23, all these guys in here. And then he can't bounce it outside because 99 is out there doing what? Staying home. Look at that. Look at that. Look at 99. 99 ain't trying to go nowhere. They try to get away from him. Just watch it again. Now, I think they're gonna they might flag me because I got the NFL Pro up there. Let me try to move something over there. So when they scan this, hold on a second. I need to do something real quick. In fact, I'm gonna take it off the screen real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna take that off. Why I did that is because YouTube will strike this stream down because that NFL logo was up there, so I had to move. I will get back to that, but I have to do it differently. NFL is racist. That ain't a race. That's funny. What up, Akoye? I think the defensive ends pass rush all day, but how do you think we replace the run defense of D-Law with guys we have now? Is Nealand gonna fill that role? It's good that you say that. That's a perfect segue, actually. Slum Dundada. That's my daughter called me Dundada. Yeah, she called me Dundada. That's funny. That's what my daughter called me. But let me show you why D-Law is not going to be missed. Now he will be missed for some things, but D-Law wasn't the savant outside that you would think he is. He was really one of the problems outside, to be honest with you. Watch this. Show you. Boom. I did this breakdown years ago too. This was always what plagued the Cowboys, right? When it came to their run defense. Now the edges, again, the edges are the target against them here because Quinn's scheme, and the edges are the target now. So nothing has really changed in regards to what teams are going to target against us. But let's watch. Watch what's happening on the edges. And I got real close and personal with everybody. So, and I showed what everybody's doing. So you can't hide in this film. Boom. All right, first let's go back. Let's watch. Who's that? 92? Is that Dorrance Armstrong down there? So watch Dorrance. He's already out leveraged. There's nothing. So the difference between that and what we watched from 99, right? 99 wouldn't let us get out leveraged, right? Boom. But when I say out leveraged, where is Dorrance's head? Here. Inside, right? So he's more so in the B gap. He's not shading the C. And he already let this pulling guard bounce outside. And then look what he's looking at. Trayvon Diggs. You think Trayvon is going to do something here? Well, he's going to try. Boom. Ain't shit he can do, though. That's why I said he asks his corners to do a lot. And you can see what happens when you ask your corners to set the edge consistently. It's going to be a problem. Boom. Parsons chases this down, though, pretty well. I think this game, Parsons actually played some linebacker this game and got exposed a little bit. Boom. Good. He's going to chase this down. A smack. Good shit. All right, now they tried it to the other side, right? Now Tank's going to crash here instead of, and when I say crash, he's supposed to stay outside, meaning they're both, I don't know what's happening here, but when I said at the bottom of the screen, he needs to communicate. So I'm assuming Tank is going to crash inside. Yes, he does. So that's what I mean by crashing inside. But if he does that, somebody's job is to replace our gap exchange with him, and that's Parsons that's supposed to do that, and he does. But you can't do that flat-footed. Parsons, you need to be downhill right now. So right there, he needed to be downhill, and everybody was slanting inside, including D-Law. So D-Law was doing what he was supposed to do, which is slanting inside. I think he was asked to do that. I hope he was, because if he wasn't, poor D-Law. Let's see. Let's look at it again. Let's see what everybody else is doing. Maybe he's supposed to. If everyone else crashes to the left of the screen, the D-Law is right. I don't know. I can't see everybody. Boom. 98 crashes inside or just takes an inside move. But either way, this was a kill shot set up for Micah Parsons to blow this up. Parsons is just kind of flat-footed here, and he didn't think that Jones was as fast as he is, so this is going to become a foot race. But you got to blow this up. Boom. Yep, Parsons is supposed to destroy that. D-Law was the problem, though. Let's go back to this. If D-Law is just at his edge, there's no way I believe that this defense was designed for just Parsons to be out here by himself with no help, right? So if he's out here by himself, everyone else is accounted for and blocked. We want this play, the integrity of this defense, you want this play to stay inside. Or at least want him to be forced to cut inside. He's not going to be forced to cut inside if this is what's happening here, right? And if Parsons would have got caught on that block right in front of him, so 76 was trying to block Parsons in the first place, but he scraped across it. He just can't be blocked that easily by a guy that's trying to reach block him. But if Parsons would have got blocked, you can see what had happened on the edge, and D-Law would have been grossly out of position. Grossly out of position. So for those who say D-Law was like irreplaceable, I think not. D-Law was a problem on the edge. And the reason he was a problem is because he was so good at the things he did. When you did run at him, he would make plays every game. He's going to make plays every game. But when he's making plays every game, guess what? Nobody wants him gone. All the fans are like, he's making plays. But the coach is going crazy because they're like, yo, dumb motherfucker, why are you crashing inside all the time? Why do you keep doing that? I know the coach ain't calling him to not set an edge. I don't think. If they are, that's pretty dumb. Watch this. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Now, you see 9 has him. All right. Boom. Rodgers sees something he likes. All right. Rodgers called it audible. They're all communicating. Let's see what's happening here. Are we communicating? No. We made no adjustment. We just stood there. Oh, no. You see, what's his name? Curse was, but they flipped this play. Boom. And out leveraged 92 again and ran up the sideline. Boom. Now, these are the things that make me say Dono should be gone, because I went back. I didn't even know, but I went back. This is 2022. What the fuck is Dono doing? He's been doing this every year. He does this all the time, at least once a year. Last year, I think he did it to George Pickens. But he does this once or twice a year. Like, just bonehead, dumbass plays. Like, that was dumb as hell. Why'd you do that? Like, there's no reason to do that. Like, are you smoking? What are you doing? Let's watch 92 on this play, though. You got to know. First off, don't ever let me see you, if you was on my team anyway, don't ever let me see you let a tight end or a wide receiver block you as a defensive end. I don't want a defensive end there. Look at that. Why are you going around? Why are you going around a single block, a one-man block, a one-on-one block with a wide receiver or a tight end? Why are you going around them? Get rid of them if you're Dorrance. What are you swim moving a fucking? This is just dumb. Yeah, but boom. Why are you swim moving a wide receiver? You should be happy when you get an opportunity to put your hands on a wide receiver and he has to, and you're his assignment. You should be happy. You should be happy. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Boom, boom. Move Osa a little bit. Hankins is crashing in there. Boom. But they did it right this time. You see Dorrance is actually setting the edge. When you set the edge properly, the ball stays in the kill zone and you can make those linebackers can make plays. Let's see them do it here. They did a better job here, I'm assuming. Boom. Same thing. But also, that isn't Jones. But you can see the edge is set by D-Law there, and everybody else can do their job. You can't do that if the edge isn't set. Let's see what's happening here. Edge is set. And we have someone trailing. Dorrance is setting the edge on the left. D-Law is not really, but you can see Curse crashing behind him or trailing that. So there's still no cutback. Dylan has to stay honest and stay front side with this, right? Hankins is taking on that double team, and and Watkins got moved a little bit. But good play. Better play. See who sets the edge here. All right, this time Fowler sets the edge. Everybody on this plays ball. I like what Fowler does, and the fact that Fowler is back. Fowler doesn't get enough credit for how well he set edges, because Fowler, I haven't seen Fowler do it wrong yet on film that I can remember. It doesn't stand out to me. I can remember Parsons doing it wrong, and I can point to games. I like the Ravens games last year. I can point to games where Parsons got beat setting the edge or reading those read options. I can see him do it. Fowler, I don't remember a game where he's done it. Now someone's gonna prove me wrong and show me, maybe, but I'm pretty sure he has gotten tricked. But it's so few, just like DeMarcus Ware has been tricked before, but it's very few times that you're gonna see him not have proper contain. It's not that often. Sam Williams does it a lot more consistently than Micah as well, but he does bonehead shit too, so I can't really give him credit. But watch everybody on this play. Chaos. Sam Williams, boom, does what he needs to do. Boom. Curse just gets rid of that fucking corner. I mean, gets rid of the wide receiver. Hankins, I think that's Hankins. Oh, no, that's Carlos Watkins taking his man through the man. He just took his man and hit Dylan with him. I'm just going to hit you with my guy. Beautiful. I love chaos like this, man. And then everybody else is just cracked. This is what team football looks like. Everybody physical, everybody fighting to the ball, but the guys on the edge setting it so that everyone else can do their job. Parsons is out there. Parsons out there setting the edge. Everybody out there doing their job so that those guys in the middle can eat. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done right. We just don't do it enough. Let's see. I think these are all passing plays at the end. I just put those in there. I don't know why. Probably play actions. Boop. Yeah, I don't remember why I did. Oh, they're following that jet sweep. Both of them are looking at the jet sweep. That is Wilson over there paying attention to the sweep. And now what happens? I don't remember why I put this in there. I'm not listening to the video. Maybe you got, oh no, I got it on mute anyway. But yeah, I ain't listening to it, so I can't even see what was happening there. But good job, Anthony Brown. Don't need to show any more of that. There's no more run plays in there. Let me come back. All right, but you see, you guys kind of get the point, right? Where it's not just, hey, you got to have good defensive tackles only. You do need them. But against this scheme, the edges are where they're soft. I'm going to show you because I don't got a bullshit at all. Let's watch Eberflus again. This time it's against Kansas City, right? You guys tell me where Kansas City is attacking. This is 22 times in the game they ran on the edge. You see why? Because in the middle of the field. Now let's watch what he asks of his guys that were doing it right now. These guys, this unit was number one versus the run in 2023. So Sanborn's right there. That's 57. Then you have Edwards 53 and Timmons are, I think his name's Timmons. I think it's Timmons, not Timmons. What's his fucking name? He got a brother that played too. I forget what their name is. Number 49. He played for the Bills, and his brother played for the Steelers. What's his name? Y'all know his name. Anyway, fuck him. Excuse my French. You know, not fuck him, but you know what I mean. Forget it. All right. Let's see. Edge is set on both sides. Yes. Boom. All right. And they're forced to stay in the middle of the field. That's what he wants when it's done correctly, obviously. But on these plays, you'll see his edges are being set more so by his defensive ends this year versus 2022 when it was being set by his safeties and corners and linebackers on a regular basis. Everybody was crashing inside. I think they weren't listening to what he was asking. Oh no, 90 just did it right there. 90 crashes inside. But you can see that him and Edwards are communicating. Why? Because watch, 90 on the right is going to crash. 94 is going to stay home, right, on the left. So that's that Quinn. He stays home, but 90 crashes inside, but 53 is scraping over the top right now. Boom. That's what he's supposed to do. That's called a gap exchange. So that's fine. That's called. Someone called that. And this is how you can tell it's called versus freelance. If it's freelance, that linebacker ain't going to scrape. That linebacker going to crash into the same gap, and it's going to be dumb shit happening, chaos, right? 53 would be in the B gap still trying to deal with this guard that's scraping off trying to reach him, right? But you don't see that. You see the exchange. So 90's in that gap dealing with the guard, and 53 is scraping over the top as he should. And they both meet at the ball on the outside, but they don't tackle him. That's fine. That was fine. That was fine. It's a good play. Boom. Let's watch how they handle it here. 94 is on the strong side. Let's see what 94 does. Boom. They both take an outside route, and then they shut it down, set the edge. They're out there containing, though. This is a pass play. I don't really count, and that's another thing that you have to pay attention to. I don't care, even though so teams will look at and people will look at how are you doing versus the run. You have to remember. Now I'm gonna ask you guys who don't think. I mean, let's make you think a little bit. Is this a run play or a pass play? This is a pass play, right? Okay, but does he register any passing yards? No, he registers running yards on a pass play. This is why I don't pay attention to stats and I watch the film. Why? Now, can someone tell me why this matters? Class, the reason this matters is because I don't count this against your run defense because your run defense ain't on the damn field. Your pass defense is on the field doing pass defense shit. And when the quarterback takes off here, right, you're registering rushing yards. Now, if he does this all game and gets you 50 extra yards, right, let's say you held the running back to 80 yards, 70 yards, but he gets you 50. So now they're over 100 yards on the ground, but not really. Get it? Scrambles do not count to me as running yards, although they still hurt you just the same. They don't count against your run defense. I don't say your run defense is sucking because you gave up yards to the quarterback, unless you knew you were playing a running quarterback the whole time. Then it's a problem because that means you should have scouted and prepared for that. But without it being Michael Vick or Jackson on the field, it's okay when you give up yards on the ground. Not okay, but I don't look at your run defense as being bad when you give up those type of yards, right? They do get first downs. They do hurt you just the same, even more, actually. But I can't say that the coach is not doing his job because a quarterback snuck out and ran the ball. But at the end of the game and at the end of the season, you say, oh, they gave up 2,000 yards on the ground. How many of that or how much of that was a quarterback and not on a quarterback design run, but a quarterback scrambling that is scrambling on a pass play? Those things happen, and it's very, very difficult to stop that. I don't care what defense it is, right? So that's why I don't pay attention to that. Okay, boom. See what's happening on the edges here. So watch 91 and 95. Those are the defensive ends here. 91 gets chopped, but he's still in his gap. 95 is maintaining outside leverage, but he's also squeezing. When I say squeezing, so this is what an attack front does, right? Now, Baltimore wasn't really attacking in the fronts that we were talking about. They were more so staying home, right? And I'll show you the difference. Boom. Let's watch Baltimore real quick. Stay home here. Meaning their first step, they're not crashing, they're not attacking those guards or tackles. They're waiting for the contact, and then they're just staying put, right? The difference here is 95 is attacking him before he even gets to the he's not waiting for the guard to pull to him. He's meeting him. See that? He met him there. That's him. Him and 91 are attacking the line of scrimmage while also maintaining C-gap discipline and integrity, right? Boom. So now, where can Pacheco go with this ball? He would have to be exceptional to get to the outside because Edwards is free because of what 97 and 96 is doing in the 93 is doing in the middle of the field. Nobody can reach block or get to the second level to get 53. 53 is fine, right? And if Pacheco stays in the middle of the field, there's a lot of bodies in there. He needs or wants to bounce this outside, right? 95 is right there where he's supposed to be, and he bought time for 53 to do what he was supposed to do. Oh, 53 still don't get there. But you can see that the defense did great. The defensive scheme did great, I mean. But you had a running back who was more scattish, who's fast as fuck, who got out to the edge anyway. And 29 is going to blow him up there and get a penalty for just launching his body at him, right? Boom. All right, here we go again. What are those defensive ends doing? 91 is peaking in the B gap. Is he gonna like recover to C? because there's nobody in the C gap. And this is 91 being a little less disciplined than he should be, because you can see 53 is not scraping to the outside. So there's nobody exchanging in that C gap unless I can't see the corner or the nickel who may be on this play. They might be blitzing from that side. Let's see. No, 53 is scraping, but scraping late. Let's watch 91. So 91's first step is he's going to take an inside track to the ball. Boom. I don't know if he got pushed there. Let's see. Did he get pushed or did he do it on purpose? Nope. He went there on his own. So 91 crashed inside. 53 is scraping over the top and exchanging that gap. And he got beat. Boom. But 53 was kind of late on the scrape. Like he didn't understand that he was supposed to scrape, because his first steps were backwards. So they were in pass coverage. They weren't reading run at all. Watch 53. He went back. Then he's scraping late. And now, boom, gets cut out of his socks. And it's a wrap. Boom. But you can see they're attacking the edges, not the defensive tackles, the edges. Watch 95. 95 is kind of out leveraged here on this one. Right. So you see, Kelsey has 95's outside shoulder, right? Boom. And now he has to deal with, that's not even Kelsey has to deal with. So 95 took his first step inside. And now Kelsey's just looking for action up the field. 95 is just out leveraged because he took a false step to the inside. But he knows that. So he grabs the outside shoulder of that tight end to make sure he could try to recover that. And that tight end now is kind of locked in. He's being defensively held so that those linebackers can swim freely to the ball. They all kind of converge there, but you can see the edges are set hard and strong. They're attacking those edges hard and fast. See that there? Boom. We want them to stay inside. They have to. You got to keep this ball inside. The only way you can keep this ball inside is setting good edges. Boom. So right here, I don't know who this is. It's 91, I think. He's following that jet action, which he shouldn't be. See that? He doesn't know where the ball is. He's reading that way wrong. You see that? He's gone. Pacheco killed him. So this is the shit that'll get you cursed out by Eberflus. If you're Micah Parsons or any of those guys outside, watch this, boom. You're in a vision-based defense. You gotta pay attention to your keys, and you gotta pay attention to what's going on, because first off, that jet, if the ball was handed off, are you gonna make that play? That ain't your play to make. That ain't your play to make. You ain't gonna make that play, buddy. And you can see there's something still going on in the backfield, right? This is just a dumb play. Boom. 90 got destroyed on that play. I know he got cursed out on that one, but that's because they didn't have edge integrity. So this shows you how dangerous it is with the way our guys kind of play the edge historically. This is how dangerous it is if we don't shore this up. Boom. Watch this. Gone. Gone. Boom. Fairy tales can come true. It could happen to you if you're dumb. So again, does he get yards on this play? Yes. Is it a running play? No. I don't count these. This is a pass play. They did a good job for the first play. The first play is done. All right. They covered. Everybody did their job. They pressured. Everybody did their job. But he's still alive. He gets some yards. But again, edges. Now let's watch what 90 does on this play. On this 91, they put 91 back in there. You see, this is the same drive too. He took old buddy out the game because 90 wasn't reading shit. So he said, let's see what 91 does though. Boom. He steps inside, but you can see the first step of Sanborn. You can see how offset the linebackers already are. See, those linebackers are already over there. So let's watch what everybody else does. But I think 91 is crashing inside because he's supposed to. He wants to occupy the B gap here, right? And if this is a off tackle, he's gonna blow this up, right? If it's not off, and if it is off tackle, he's gonna blow it up, and he got help behind him, so he can be as fucking dangerous or risky as he wants over there. The guys on the opposite side can't crash though, right? So you see that, boom. All right, he crashes inside, but you see all three linebackers are out there already. Boom, ready, converging on the ball. Boom, stop the ball. Where did he come from? Where did you come from, buddy? That's 96. Yeah, 96 just chases this down from the middle of the field. Boop. Good shit. That's 99. but they wearing them edges out 22 times on the edge. Now watch, let's see what they do. Now this is a 3-4 type of look from this is a 4-3 over, but it looks like 3-4, right? But it's 4-3 over, but it looks like 3-4. All right, boom. So 94 this time crashes the B gap. But why does he do that? Because he knows Edwards is already in the C gap. So I can go as crazy as I want to the right of the screen. Watch 94. Boom. Now this is part of this play was designed this way because you see the gap exchange. Who exchanges in this gap? The nose tackle, right? So the nose tackle and 94 are going to switch. Watch this. Boom. 94 jumps inside. Look at the nose tackle. That they did a twist or a gap exchange, and 53 is just doing his job, setting the edge, right? So the 97 should blow this up. He gets cut off of. So, but this was a good run blitz. So this is what you call like a run blitz type of stunt. It's a run stunt. So it could have did something for the quarterback too. It doesn't matter. But they were stunting. Boom. This was a stunt. See that? And they wanted to either disrupt the quarterback or the backfield, and they got beat on it. Okay, got beat on it. But this was just great execution by the Chiefs and good execution by Chicago. It's just the Chiefs just beat them on this play. But I can see what they were trying to do, and everybody's kind of in position to stop this. That was good initial play. Is just didn't execute. Nobody was out of position though. Boom. This time 50 the end gets pushed inside. Who is that? 91. But 91 recovered pretty damn well. 91, he do his job. Whoever that is. I don't know 91. I don't know their team. But watch what he does here. He knows he's out leveraged. Kelsey is trying to stonewall him. Boom. He does get hit in the back, but he slices in there anyway. Does a good job getting upfield, stopping this ball. Pacheco's just sturdy. Let's see here. Boom. Okay, 91 gets pushed out of there this time, though. So 91's going to crash into. He's not trying to crash on him. Yeah, he got chipped inside, then takes a move further inside, which he should never do here, but he does it. But his momentum was already going that way. He doesn't have time to think on a dime like that. Boom. Now, stuck. Here goes some running yards for the quarterback. 96 got he boogieing. All right, let's look at this. Boom. 95 and 90. Let's watch them. 95 and 90. This is what Eberflus wants. This is what he wants out of his guys. This is what he wants. We were seeing some of this in the Ravens preseason game, to be honest. A lot of our guys are playing like this. This is so you can see the flashes of this scheme, even with our guys. All right, now watch this. So what you got here is 90 is going to crash inside again. See that? That looks like our 90, doesn't it? But they're late on the scrape again. You know how I know they're late on the scrape? Because that tight end's already waiting for him. Look, he knows what's coming. Look for the scrape. Look, he's 81. Watch 81. He's waiting for the scrape. He's like, all right, I know 53 is my assignment. Boom. But 90 made it so easy that no one over here, no one blocked him. Look, they said, let him go. They let him go because they knew he was going to cut himself right out of the play. They knew what was happening here. The Chiefs did. This is great offensive coordinator work by Andy Reid. Watch this. They knew what was coming. Boom. He's going to crash inside, and those guys are going to try to fill our exchange. But now you got 4-on-2, 5-on-2, 5-on-2. So Sanborn has to deal with 4 linemen in the back. Oh, Sanborn doesn't let us get washed out there, though. Sanborn did a great job here because this play is even worse if Sanborn doesn't do that. Watch the Sanborn right here. Boom. So Edwards, and this is what an attack front does too. But you see how Edwards just attacks that tight end? He just hits him. Smack. Oh, shit. I went all the way back there. My bad, y'all. Smack. Smack. Sanborn tried to get under that, and he did. He got taken out by 2 guys, but he slows them up enough for those other guys to make the play. And he hurt 79. So this is physical football right here out of Sanborn. I like Sanborn. Watch this. Some people say he's slow, but boop. Watch 79 getting up. He hurt. Everybody over there hurt. Sanborn over there laying wood. Pause. What's this? Boop! Got him out of here. Got him out of here. I like that. I like that. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch what they do here. Boom. The edges are set. What happens? When you set the, it's funny how even on the outside runs, on the inside runs, no matter what, if you just stand, if you're a defensive end, you could just have big guys, if they just standing outside and they're not even pass rushing at all. They just stand out there and clog up traffic. Look how easy it is to stop the run when you stay home and do what you're supposed to do on run plays. Boom. Stay home. Stay home. Boom. 94 could have did a slightly better job here. And the only thing I would say he needed to do here is, you see, you already got the outside shoulder of 79, right? Stay there. He got chipped a little bit to the inside, though, so I'll give him that. He got chipped on his outside shoulder by 81 here. Boom. All right, and that just gave him just enough. They gave him just enough to get that edge. But Sanborn beats 81 because of that. Boom. Sanborn cuts this back inside. Boom. 44 kills it. Sanborn knows his job. I like Sanborn. Well, let's see what happens here. Whose edge is this? That's 90 again. Let's watch how 90 sets this edge. 90 do this every play. Who the fuck is that? They gotta be calling this. Yeah, they're calling that. They gotta be calling that. Because that's just dumb. And every time they do it, though, why do they keep calling this though? Because every time they call it, it doesn't work. I think it's supposed to be like a bang play where he crashes inside. They're trying to make him D-Law, but he ain't getting upfield. So why are you crashing in there? He better off just staying right where he at. This play is blown up. If he just stays where he, I don't know why they calling that. If he just stops 79 here, everyone else is slanting towards him, right? Everyone would converge on the B gap right now. Right there. Everybody's in there right now. Right? If 90 was out here with 79 you would have a traffic jam right in here. But you're creating space by causing the exchange in the first place. I don't know why they keep calling that. But you see how much space they created. Now, Sanborn is supposed to make that play, though. And I just said, I like you, Sanborn. Don't be doing shit like this. It made me look bad now. Boop. Oh, cut you out your socks, my G. Boom. You're outside there. Boom. Just set the edge. You see, when you just set the motherfucking edge, these don't go nowhere. It's not that hard. You just set the edge, and none of that stuff works. None of this works when you just stay out there. And I'm talking about stay out there and just stand your guy up. You ain't even got to do much. We want to play hero ball so bad. Everybody wants to make a play on every play that we don't do this consistently enough. So those other guys can't eat. And now you have guys who are out here stressed the fuck out, looking like they can't play ball. Because, again, what do we have here? Watch this. Who crashed this time? Somebody followed something. 9. 9's going to abandon his gap, but why? Where's he going? Oh, he's in man coverage on the tight end. So he has to follow that tight end across the line of scrimmage. Where's 90? What's that about? 90. So this must be a third down play. 90's in the middle of the field standing up. He's also following the tight end. He thinks that 90 can't read run for shit. Watch 90. He's here. Watch this. Boom. Watch where he goes. So he's thinking that this is a inside zone, right? That's what he's thinking. If it were an inside zone, do you need to hustle to get over there? No. Why? You got help over there, buddy. Why you do that? So he gets upfield. He hustles to get over there. And look at that. They see that shit from the rip. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Hold on a second. Yo, babe. Yeah. What's up? Yeah. What's up? You need me? Oh, no, that ain't ours. They down here chilling. All right, cool. She thought the dogs was barking, but no, they chilling. All right, let's see. All right, so before I go on to more film, right? But you guys get the gist of what I'm talking about, right? You see what it looks like when it's done correctly, consistently, and you can see what happens when you don't. And we don't. And I'm going to show you that we don't because I'm going to keep showing Dallas footage from when we historically don't set the fucking edge. Now watch this. Let's keep going. Oh, remember, that is my Cash App, folks. It's going to stay there. Use it, please. Thank you. Why? Because I've been on a tear, and if I'm going to be sitting here, I need some compensation. I ain't even playing. You know what I mean? I'm definitely doing this for the rest of the season because, I got time, but you don't want me to chill with my kids, you're going to pay me. For real. But all right, cool. All right, let's see. What's wrong with the Cowboys? Offensive breakdown. Did that one. Which one didn't I do? Now you guys get to see what we looked like that year where we sucked. This is also 2022. And this is y'all boy. Remember y'all said, hey, what can we do to replace 90? So watch 90 and 11. And we remember what I just showed you on film, right? Watch 90 and 11 and watch how they set the edge here. Okay. I liked Nev and Watkins that year. Boom. Let's see if they're setting the edge here. Damn, sorry about that, y'all. Boom. All right. Parsons is at home doing his job. Let me blow this up. Make sure you guys can see it real good. Oh, shit. Y'all can't even see that. What's going on here? My bad, y'all. I'm glad I came back over here. Glad I came back. I'm sharing the other screen. What's going on? Boom. Yeah, I don't know why it's not sharing. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, y'all. Reshare. So I'm gonna stop sharing. I was all talking and shit. I would have went all the way into. Hold on. All right, let me share it again. All right, y'all can see it now. All right, let's go back. All right, I'm going back to that screen so I can show y'all what's up. All right, so watch 90 and 11 here. Not on this play, but I'm just showing you that Nev and I think Watkins were pretty good. Boom. So he can't that guard can't get to the second level because Watkins got driven into him. So now Van Der Esch is free. Watkins kept him clean. Parsons is clean. Barr is clean, pretty much. Parsons, they went right at Parsons' knee. This is when I started saying that Parsons should be a linebacker, this is why. This is what made me say it. I said, hey, the way they come after him on the edge, the dirty shit that they do on the edge, they be fucking him up. Nobody sees it, but they're trying. They try to hurt him. I'm talking about a lot of teams do that to him. I can't stand shit like that. But he don't get those kind of hits if he's in the middle of the field. They don't get those cheap shots on him. That's why I didn't want him out there initially. So everybody thought I was like, hey, Micah Parsons should be a linebacker only because I just love linebackers or something. It was just shit like this I was looking at. His foot was planted there. Parsons wouldn't even be looking for a contract right now because he would be still recovering from an ACL tear. This would be his second year in recovery, or third maybe, removed from that tear because this is 2022. Boom. All right, so you see what happens when you set the edge properly. Parsons learning. He says, all right, I'm going to brace my knee because I can see them going for it again. But you can see D-Law was on the outside, edge is set. Parsons outside, edge is set. Okay, keep it in the middle of the field. And let's, give your guys the opportunity to make those plays in there. They can't make those plays in there if you don't set the edge. Because the ball ain't going to be in there. It's going to bounce to the outside. Boom. Now you're going to watch here. D-Law is going to crash inside on a jet sweep, on a reverse. You cannot do that. Why? Because here. Now, if you blew this up, y'all have been like, now him and Wilson are wrong here. Watch Wilson, and there's no reason for you both to be in the same gap. Now, but if D-Law blew this up, and you could tell he's not communicating, because if he was communicating, he definitely would have told Wilson he's going, or they're both just dumb. And I think Wilson is not a very bright player, to be honest. I don't think he is. And I'm not being smart, but I don't think he is. He does a lot of bonehead shit. But so does D-Law. This is undisciplined football. It don't matter how talented you are if you don't have discipline. So if the Cowboys aren't disciplined, whether it's because of Jerry or whatever, if the players aren't disciplined, this is going to keep happening. It don't matter. Because if he blew this up, if everybody would have loved him for a day. But all he had to do was just stay where that yellow arrow is going. Just stay out there. And then everybody else in here can eat and recover. Nobody can recover because they're all playing that run action from the running back to the front side. So they're all where they're supposed to be based off of what their keys are. Everyone else is playing the running back. This jet sweep that's coming back off the side, right? This is Wilson and D Law's responsibility on backside contain. And this is how they did it. Okay. This is where your defense gets destroyed. So historically, we've been bad at this. This is also something I hate. If a wide receiver is out leveraging you, if you don't kill that wide receiver in your D Law or any defensive end, if you get an opportunity to hit a wide receiver and you let him just do that to you, you're tripping. Run through his fucking face and make them say, we don't need to call that again, coach, because that hurt. He does recover here, D-Law does. So he's going to run through that guy. But that's hero ball because he had to do all that to stop the ball. Now, it's only because Barr exchanged with him and set the edge. But you see what happens when your corners actually set the edge over there. Watch this. Corners can't do this consistently. They're not going to do it well anyway. So you see Barr slash in there? Boom. They recovered the edge only because of Brown and LV and Barr. And that's why D-Law was able to get in here and still make a tackle here. But he did this wrong initially. Great recovery. I even knew that then. Great recovery, but not how it's designed. That's what I said. But that's the truth. All right. D-Law is not going to come upfield. He's going to cut. Watch it. Boom. All right. Stay outside and squeeze. You got to stay outside and squeeze the pocket. This is versus cover one. Everybody's in good position to stop this. D-Law is going to get too far upfield. Although this is a passing play, you still stay the fuck home if you're D-Law. Sorry about that. Stay home. And this play doesn't happen. Yeah, stay home. Come on, man. How the fuck are you doing that by mistake? Let's see what's happening. My bad, y'all. Here we go. Boom. Here we go. Let's see what they're doing here. Now, Doris is doing the right thing this time. Just surfing, staying home like he should. Boom. And then he's going to squeeze down the line of scrimmage or travel down the line of scrimmage. And you see how many bodies are inside to meet whoever carries that ball inside, running back or not. Even though Hankins getting pushed off the ball, everybody can converge on the middle of the field because everybody stay home. And you see on the backside, you saw Fowler contained properly there. He mad as shit. He's like, yo, they ripping my fucking helmet off. Y'all not even saying that. And I was just saying here, just turning back inside. Let's see who I'm talking about here. You see Fowler to the left? Watch Fowler. Boom. D-Law does his job here. Good. So is Curse. They're both Curse is peeking outside while D-Law sets the edge. Boom. All right, so he's gonna peek outside, but then they're gonna force the ball back inside here. And now everybody else can eat. Now D-Law don't like that because he wants the stats. He wanted the glory. I guarantee you he wanted the glory because that's a great job by D-Law. I'll give him his credit for that. But he used to do this way too much. And the reason I say he wanted the glory because right after that, he'll do this. And then give up a big play again. Why does that keep happening, man? Stop that shit. Boom. Here we go. Watch it. Now, you can't be all the way inside like that if you D-Law. You can't. Boom. This is what was happening to us that year. And this is D-Law maybe 4 times this game. Maybe 4 or 5. But when I would argue with people and say, well, D-Law is a problem when it comes to QB runs, nobody understood what I'm saying because he is good versus true run, meaning just the run. But against running quarterbacks, he sucked because he would always get up the field like this and he would give up too much space. Both him and Osa do too much of this, in my opinion. Micah, not so much because he's fast enough to recover when he does something wrong. But watch this. You see Doris Armstrong here, same thing. Once you break their contain on the outside, those defensive ends are pivotal to every defense. You know what I mean? If you break contain, you're going to kill any defense because now you have too many options when you're out there on the edge. You force a team to play honest football when you just set the edge properly. Parsons got too far upfield here, got pushed too far upfield, created too much space behind him, and then that exchange right there, LV was supposed to be in that gap, and he gets stood up by a motherfucking wide receiver. What the hell? And this is why I used to not want him here. People would tell me LVE is good. Where? Come on, man. What we talking about here? You are a linebacker, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Boom. Watkins is in great position. He did his job, but Parsons was too far out. But Watkins overdid his job because both Parsons and LVE really got beat on this play. Watkins was the hero, but he wasn't playing hero ball. He just did his job very well. Took the double team down the line of scrimmage. Right. Good by Watkins here. I always like Watkins. Every time he's here, he plays well, but we just don't keep him. But I don't know why. He's a good player. And he has been since he's been here. But we never give him a real contract. And he don't get hurt because he'd be right back here. Less is more. Let's see if he tried to get upfield. Nope. Somebody must have told his ass, stay home. Now you're home. And now you can read and make this play like a smart player. Boom. And then go in there and do what you got to do. He don't like that, though. Guys who want to be heroes don't like this. But you can see I was showing what the Giants were doing the same season in regards to how they were setting the edge and how they went about doing it. Boom. But you can see same philosophy. Same philosophy. Well, you do a lot of dumb shit. Don't set ours. Boom. Here he goes again. This is the same game. Y'all know that, right? This isn't the same play over and over again. D-Law did this 4 or 5 times in this game. Look at this. Boom. Again. How you keep getting beat with the same thing? You know what I mean? So when y'all talk about how we were on the edges and how we're going to replace D-Law, well, just don't have a guy doing this type of shit. Now, why is D-Law chasing 32? See him chasing 32? He's chasing 32. D-Law, this is where your hustle can get in your own way. You ain't going to make this play if you're D-Law. Look at that. You got guys up there to make that play, D, right? You the only person back there. You and number 6. You and Wilson. Wilson's playing the quarterback. Ain't nobody playing that wide receiver coming across the line of scrimmage because D-Law and Wilson both out of position. Boom. See that? Both out of position. So he stops now. But look at how they play off you when you don't stay home. And this is how you can attack the Cowboys. Maybe this season, depending on how our defensive ends play in this new scheme. But these are the things that were happening to us when Chicago played us. Boom. You see, now he did all that to do this. Now everybody at home watched that, right? And they said, this is what I'm talking about. D-Law is the man. He did it wrong 4 times just to get 1 sack. So we'll give him the sack and we'll say the sack is the stat that matters, right? And it does. But what the fuck did he do before that? How many yards did he give up? How many first downs did he give up just to make that 1 play? See? And now because he made that 1 play and we all on his top for it, he going to keep doing it because now he feels justified. See what I'm saying? Nobody understands what I'm talking about when I talk about players, but I watch this shit like this. See, now he's justified in all the other times he crashed upfield wrong. All right, here. This is Fowler. Now you see how Fowler goes. Now what? Let me show you the difference. Watch the angle. Watch the angle here. This is a hard angle, meaning sharp. He came from here to here. Hard angle. It's just that Fields doesn't see him. If Fields sees him, he's done. Now watch how Fowler comes upfield. This is how you're supposed to do it. You see this? Just get up the field, straight up the field, and keep him inside. So Fowler still makes the same play, but he doesn't lose because if Fowler comes down the line on that angle, he misses him. He's playing that upfield shoulder. He's going to miss him. Fowler stays outside. And not only does he stay outside, who does this on the outside? I see somebody else doing some shit out there. Watch this. I don't know who it was. Oh, it's Curse. Curse smart. Curse sees this action on the outside. Watch Curse. Curse is going to take both those guys out. Boom. See that? So there's nothing that you're going to throw behind Fowler. There's nothing you're going to get back there. Because Curse is a smart player. Took those guys out, right? So this is where the difference in Wilson and Curse is. Instead of coming at the quarterback, Curse gets up the field and hits this. Boom. And Fowler goes straight up the field and gets a sack because of it. Boom. See that? Different. Totally different. When you stay home, it looked different. Boom. Let's see who got beat on this play. Parsons is inside. I don't know if he was told to crash inside or not, but he was in there. Let's see what happens. I went too far back. Okay. Went too far back. All right, let's watch what's happening on this next play. Let's see. All right. So Parsons is out leveraged to the inside already. But this is, again, a wide receiver blocking you, even though he's not really blocking you. But his job is just to slow you up just a little bit, push you a little further inside, use your momentum against you. But you see Wilson is exchanging and stepping down here. Wilson gets too far up the field. Wilson's too far upfield already, and Curse is sealed off. This is too easy, folks. Too easy. Too easy. Now, what's the difference? If Parsons is on the outside, does any of this happen? No. So it doesn't. I don't care if it's called. Why are we calling it? Why would anybody call it? I don't get it. It's no point, because if Parsons just forces his way between 85 and 19 and just steps up the field, this play doesn't happen. All he has to do is just step up the field. Even if he just dove up the field and fell on the ground, this play does not happen. But because he's inside, he's mitigated. It's over. They've dealt with him. Touchdown. That's the difference. Now, Parsons at linebacker on this play. I like seeing that. But let's see what happens. Now, Fowler is in the game. And let's see what Fowler does. Fowler's being out leveraged. Now let's see what he does to deal with it. Fowler feels that and says, fuck that. I'm going to spin off of it instead of letting you just keep me inside. Even though they still getting some yards here. Now let's see what's happening. Micah got to erase this because Micah is scraping. So Fowler's crashed inside. They still called that same crash inside. Okay. Same one that you see Eberflus call all the time. Quinn called it too, obviously. Boom. So Fowler's inside right now, but you could already see his feet. Parsons is scraping over the top of that. Oh, no, Curse first and then Parsons. So Parsons first, Curse right there. Boom. Parsons just has to get over the top of that guard right there and meet the ball. And he does it. It's sort of like he fucking teleported in here to watch this. Watch him get into the lane. Boop. That running back did not expect that shit. He like, yo, where the fuck he come from? There's no way he should have got in there. This is where I used to say I wanted to see him at linebacker, and why? Because of shit like this. Like when I was watching his film, I said, damn, when he playing linebacker, he does some amazing shit. He does. But he just doesn't do it a lot. He doesn't play linebacker a lot. But this was amazing. To be able to get there like that, that's not easy to do, folks. That was beautiful, though. All right, let's see what's happening here. I don't remember. All right, so he takes a step inside, but let's see if he can recover. Does he recover? No, he's walled off already. Walled off. And it's over. Up the sideline. LV gets knocked the fuck out. Yep. Watch this. So he takes the look at Parsons play linebacker like a fucking ace. People was crazy when they said that he can't play linebacker. I don't know what the fuck they was talking about. He looked way better at Parsons. I just showed you a full game of him at defensive end getting beat because he doesn't want to set the edge. He wants to go get the ball. So if he wants to go get the ball and he can go get the ball like this, you let that man go get the fucking ball. I don't care if he can't cover. And he can cover better than most. He runs a 4.3. You better learn how to cover. If he can't, he'll learn. But I think he can. Boom. Kept everything home on this play. Let's see it. Now you get to come back and clean it up, D-Law. Look at that. This is what happens when you do your job first. He did his job, and everybody else is in position. Now the ball is slowed up enough for you to still be able to come and do that. You know what I'm saying? But D-Law did it wrong 4 times in this game just to get one splash play. That is what we don't need. And this is what we don't need. I don't need to see Parsons doing this shit, setting edges. I don't like seeing him setting edges because when you see Parsons do that, right? That's good, no, right? That's good, no. Watch this. But wouldn't you rather him doing this shit here? Wouldn't you rather him do this? I would rather see him doing this. I would rather rally and funnel all the traffic to a guy that can do that versus having him just set an edge. Because that's what we need him to do. If he's on the edge, he has to just set the edge. If you're on the edge, you just got to set that motherfucker. If you're not on the edge, though, you can play a little ball. But right here, he on the edge. You can't be reading like a linebacker when you set an edge. You a defensive end now, buddy. So you got to just get in there and set the fucking edge. That's it. Boring work. But somebody got to do it. And I don't think it should be Parsons. But whatever. I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. He's the most prolific pass rusher in the game. I know. He is. But whatever. Whatever. I don't know. I'm going to let this play a little bit. Then I'll get to something else. Boom. You see those guys out there, just Diggs just setting the edge so Parsons could stay inside, and the ball that boy got to deal with Parsons. You don't want to deal with him. You don't want to deal with him. You rather have Parsons doing that, or would you rather Parsons where LVE is right now? So LVE is right in the middle of the field. Where's the traffic? Middle of the field. Or would you rather Parsons standing out here, setting the edge and staying home like he's supposed to? I don't want him doing that. You're wasting 4.3 speed and great linebacker instincts by having him do this. I don't think you should be doing that. You should have all of the traffic funneled towards your best player, especially if he plays like that one. But whatever. Let's see what happens here, and then it's over, I think. Yeah, he sets the edge. Good job, Parsons. Set the edge. He set the edge properly, but this ain't what I want him doing. So does Fowler on the other side. They both, oh no, that was D-Law who actually set the edge on the other side this time. Boom. Let's see. Let's see in that last play what happened. D-Law stays out there this time. He got pushed out there a little bit, but boom, does a good job of destroying that. That was the next video. What can Brown do for you? All right, got out of there. Let me get back to y'all. And boom. All right, y'all. Y'all stayed for 2 hours, man. We've been out here. Do I got anything I haven't shown y'all? Because that's what I'll do now if I haven't. But I think I went through all the film that I wanted to go through. Let me ask y'all, did they strike me at all? No. Did they strike me at all? I don't think they did. They never took the stream down, right? Let's see. Cool. Boom. Boom. Read what y'all saying. As a rocker could be good if he learned his assignment. Akoye, this is the reason he not here now, famo. Someone on the team said you can't play defense when someone is playing hero ball. Same thing in the Ravens game, bro. Yep, you can't play defense when somebody's doing that, and you're not wrong. Like if somebody's just gonna keep doing that over and over again, and this isn't new. And I'm gonna show y'all this one just because I want y'all to see it's not new. Hold on 1 second. Let me go in the studio real quick and show you what I mean. Because I went back, I can go back years and watch D-Law doing. D-Law been that problem for years. It wasn't just 2022. I'm gonna go back to 20. I'm gonna go back before, I think before Parsons was even here. I think that game happened. It was the game against, I think it was the Browns in Parsons' rookie year. I think it was the Browns. Let me see what happened. Where it was. It was a reverse play. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't do this play. I thought I did though. Okay. When is this? 2021 December. Let's get in there. Hold on a second, y'all. Give me a second. It was against the Browns, I believe. But it was a game where OBJ beat us in the end. I know I broke down what D-Law wasn't doing in that game. What year was that where OBJ did that to us? Was it 2020? Was it 2020? It got to be further back because I don't see it yet. And I'm all the way in 2021. Hold on. All right. I'm in 2020. I think it was in 2020 then. Versus the Rams. It is June 2020. April 2020. Yeah, I don't know what game it was, but it was one of these games. Brandon Carr was still here during that time. All right, let me see. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Oh, versus the Browns. Here we go. Is this the Browns? Yep, this is it. Okay, so I found it. Hold on a second. Let me show y'all this. D-Law been doing this for years. Years. Now, I ain't really got to say much. I'm going to come back in here with y'all on this one. Just let it play. I ain't got to say much. You're going to see what's up. Hold on. Boom. 58. That was Smith, I think it was. Bull. What's the dude who was drinking alcohol? What's his name? I don't remember his name. The same concept here. Boom. We sucked versus the run. It's an old breakdown, man. Look at Jalen Smith hustling. I trying to. That's my boy right there. He was one of the best linebackers here during that time. What was his name? Number 48. I liked him. He could ball, but nobody gave him credit. They ain't give him no credit. They ain't give him no love, no nothing. It made it seem like I was talking crazy when I would say he's playing better linebacker than Jalen and LV, and he was. He was consistently. 48 was balling. They just kind of act like I was wrong on that, but he was balling consistently. There go Wilson when Wilson was young. That's Dontari Poe. Fat man. All right, let me see. I want to show y'all the last play real quick. I don't gotta watch all this shit. I don't know what this film is showing, so I don't want to show just one play. Let me see. Boom. All right, watch the edge, folks. Boom. Now Jalen and D-Law used to do this exchange all the time. That's why I said when Jalen was here, they would communicate this. Boom. D-Law crashes inside. You see how Jalen knew already to just set the edge, and he waited. Said, all right, I got it. So he's like, I got you, big dog. Go ahead. But you can't just do that with nobody behind you. Like right now, there's nobody that can scrape over D-Law now, but D-Law just sets the edge properly. I don't know what I was talking about here. I can't hear it. Boom. Jalen late to the ball again. I want to see the reverse at the end. Boom. Edge again. I was showing all the times we would beat on the edge that same season. And when they stay home, what was happening, correct? I just did the same thing I just did with showing you when they stay home, what happens versus when they crash inside, what happens. Boom. And I was having this argument about nose tackle, same argument we're having about Mozzie. They were saying Poe was trash, but Poe doesn't show up on broadcast because Poe's doing shit like this. He's forcing guys to cut off of him, and you have to play off of his hip. So guys are cutting off of you. If guys are cutting off of you, who's behind them? Right there, boom. That's supposed to be Crawford and whoever else is on the trail back there. I think that linebacker that was trailing got destroyed. Oh no, that's one of our coaches. That's Thomas. Yeah, Thomas. Oh, he's a coach now. Thomas, number 23, the safety. Let me see I don't see the reverse play that's in. I don't think I got that play. Did I get it? Doesn't matter. I don't know what that is, so I can't find that play. But let me go back to you guys. I'm about to wrap this up. All right. Yeah, I missed it. I don't know where that play is, and that was so long ago. I can't. Yeah, it was Joe Thomas, but yeah, I can't find it. So doesn't matter. But you guys can get the gist that it was happening all the way back down. But I remember that has been an issue for that long. Us not being able to set an edge, and I don't. Excuse me, my corner's looking kind of ashy. My bad. But I don't think we've done enough to solve that problem unless schematically Eberflus has those guys playing a lot more patient, controlled, and disciplined. All right. But next I'm gonna look at Michael Oju, whatever his name is. I'm gonna look at that play. I'm gonna look at his play next, but not today. But I appreciate everybody who stayed on, everybody who watched. I did a lot of film in this one. I'm gonna say some shout outs real quick, and then we're gonna keep it popping, keep it moving. Let's see. Let me read this. Slim Dundada. He says, saw your video on Mozzie, but how much does Eberflus defense rely on nose tackle for run defense? You think any weaknesses there can be covered up with good linebacker play? Yes and no. Of course, he wants his nose tackles to be able to anchor, but he wants his edges to set the edge so that those guys in the middle could actually do their job. And then yes, the linebackers are to attack the line of scrimmage. He always has his linebackers coming forward and downhill towards the line of scrimmage. So he gets beat with play actions and misdirections a lot, and that's just the way his defense is set up. But the reason he does that is this. He understands he wants his defense attacking you. So you have to counter what we're doing versus us waiting for you to hit us. We're going to hit you, and then you're going to have to make a decision as an offense or as a player on offense what you're going to do about it. But we're going to hit you. You're not going to just have, I'm in this gap, he's in that gap, and we're just waiting for some action. No, we hit the line of scrimmage instead of letting the line of scrimmage hit us. So I do like that because it helps us dictate what we're doing, and it helps the linebackers kind of understand what to do too before the play. The linebacker knows we're crashing left. So that means all my action, I need to watch all the cutback action off that because I know I have my defensive line is going to be out leveraged to my left. So there should be nothing. If I even read an edge run, I can kind of wait on that or hesitate to get to that because I know I have help there. Whereas I know the counter, I don't. So now I know to read the counter, right? So it helps us read just like you reading as a running back. If your offensive line is doing a stretch play, you're just looking for one place where you could put your foot in the ground like Edgerrin James and get upfield, right? Because everybody's pushing the defensive line to the right. And you say, okay, well, if they're pushing them right, if we can set an edge, I can still get to the right and I'll just keep the stretch front side. If we don't set an edge and I see that edge is set, if we don't seal the edge, as an offense, and I see the edge is set by the defense, I know I have to get my foot in the ground and get upfield. If I'm a running back, can't do that if your linebackers are now reading that as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Whereas if we're just pushing the defensive line to the right and the linebackers are kind of waiting, like we had our linebackers, LV used to do this a lot. They're waiting for action. I got plenty of time to get my foot in the ground and get north to south. If you want a game to pay attention to, go back and watch my film against. It's actually a good game to watch. Clayton Adams, I believe, was the defensive line coach or offensive coordinator or defensive line coach. I don't remember, but I think he was offensive coordinator or offensive line coach. For the Cardinals when James Conner ran on us for 200 yards. Watch that game. I did that too. Watch what our linebackers are doing. Watch what they did to us. and why they were able to do it. You get a kick out of that. All right. But yeah. Let me look up here and see what y'all talking about. Gotcha. I don't think the defense will struggle. It's not designed. I don't think the defense will struggle. It's not designed to gamble like our previous ones were. I think teams will have to drive the field every time, and that's hard. They'll have to drive the field, but he does gamble. But he gambles like with his fronts. So not really with. He doesn't gamble on the back end. You're right. He gambles with the front, and when I say the front, just the front four. I mean, he'll have them crashing one way or left or right. If those linebackers, that's why he asks a lot of his linebackers because they have to read and correct that. Meaning, if his defensive line crashes to the right, those linebackers, as I said earlier, are playing off of their hip. Meaning, they're cutting off that defensive line's hip to the inside because they're saying, okay, if someone counters that crash or they actually run the play opposite way or flip it for whatever reason because they can read that we're crashing, then I have to clean that up if I'm a linebacker or whoever has backside contain as well. We have to clean that up. And so it's usually 2 or 3 people that are flowing backside and then everyone else is crashing. He does do that a lot. Like it's kind of like 3-card Monty. Like he's doing a lot of shell games with you up front, but he doesn't do it on the back end. You're right. He doesn't do a lot of blitzing with the safeties. He doesn't do a lot of risky shit. You kind of know those guys are going to be playing off, keeping everything in front of them and chasing the ball and tackling the ball. All right. Hell yeah. Thanks, Koye. What 2 safeties do you think should start week 1? I'll say Wanye, and then in this defense, I like cover corners more so that can tackle, not just zone corners who can tackle or box safeties, who can tackle, or cover safeties. I like cover safeties who can tackle. So I like Mukwamu and I like Wanye, and I like Marquise. I really don't care for Hooker or Wilson starting anymore. I think they both are past their prime at this point, personally speaking, or they're just out of their scheme. This isn't the right scheme for them. Hooker left some things to be desired. And while we're at it, so I got some more footage I can pull in and we can watch this and you'll see why I'm saying what I'm saying. I got the whole year of explosive plays. So go to explosives, both on the ground and in the air. Watch this. See, I'm glad you asked that question, Jay, because you made me come back to it. All right. Boom. There's a whole game of explosive plays. Let's watch the edge. Boom. Micah gets too far upfield here. You're too far up there, buddy. So now Kamara pretty much got free reign. Now watch at the top of the screen. Now that's your safety up there. What's their job? To be the safety net. That's why they're called. That's literally why they call safety. They're the safety net of the defense. They're the lid, right? So 6 is at the top of the screen, right? Or at the far left of the screen. Both him and Caleb Carson do nothing. Carson at least tries to keep outside contain. 6, where are you going? Where is he going? Where was he going? He already drove on the B gap. He's trying to drive up the. I got the hiccup. Sorry. He's trying to drive up the field, but now Kamara is going to get that edge. He's not fast enough to recover. The problem with 6 with Wilson is once he misses, once he reads something wrong, he can't recover. He can't recover. He has no speed. Boom. He can't recover. That's 1 touchdown, right? Okay. Boom. That one was Mozzie, right? In the beginning, we showed where Mozzie got he held the guy and the guy held him and they both threw each other out of the way right there, boom. Or he threw him out of the way. Watch Mozzie. Boom. So 64, he's holding 64 shoulder pad and 64 is holding his. 64 knows that because he was getting defensively held the whole game. So he says, all right, I'm just gonna fall. Watch this. He's just gonna fall. And Mozzie's holding on to him. You see that? Mozzie right there is holding on to his shoulder pad and doesn't know to let go. He should have let him go there, but he didn't let him go. But this is holding on both of those guys, and he slingshots Mozzie out of there. But okay, so let's just say Mozzie's out of there, right? 6 right here. You're the safety. So watch 6. I don't even like him single high. I don't know who would even put him single high because he ain't got sideline speed. But boom, he's gonna miss right there. Boop, and it's Now Carson doesn't want to tackle, neither does Diggs. They kind of let him get in there anyway. This shouldn't even have been a touchdown. Now watch what I said with Mozzie. He's reaching. He's going to reach out. He's grabbing the inside of the shoulder pad. This is what he was asked to do, folks. A whole offensive lineman. He's holding them so that those linebackers can try to stay free, right? And now he's still holding him. He should have let him go. If he lets go here, he just stays put. But he doesn't let go. And when the guy falls, Mozzie goes with him, and he slingshots him too, because even though he falls, he holds Mozzie when he falls too, right? There you can see he's still holding on to Mozzie too. So they hold each other and flip each other out of there. Not making an excuse. That is holding, but whatever. After that, shouldn't have been a touchdown though. It should have been maybe a 6-7 yard gain, because you should the ball should be stopped there. Nobody's converging on the ball. These guys don't really want to hit. Carson could have been got there. He didn't want to hit him. He was scared. So there's 2 touchdowns that went through both Mozzie. Oh, that's 1 touchdown that went through Mozzie, but 2 touchdowns that went through Wilson, right? Here's another. Now, this one in the Detroit game, remember I told you guys I found some film where Mozzie doesn't look good. So, like I said, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to hide shit like some people, but we ain't going to talk about him. Anyway, watch Mozzie here. You can watch him. Watch everybody here. But because Osa too. This is Osa, Lawson, Mozzie, the whole front 4, and then everything behind it is going. Detroit is they're just physical. Watch everybody gone. Everybody gone. So I can't even say just Mozzie. I can't even single out Mozzie on this play. But he did too. He got his ass queued up just like everybody else. So they pushed everybody out of there. Got rid of Osa, got rid of Clark, got rid of Mozzie, and got rid of motherfucking Chauncey on the back end. Everybody. They just yoked up the whole team. Look, everybody. This is what happened when you invest in your offensive line, though, like we have. In a couple of years, we should have some guys that can do this, right? Boom. Where is everybody? There go 6 again. There go 6 again. All right, boom. Mozzie gone. Osa gone. Everybody gone. And here's 6. Boom. All right. Boom. Nobody did shit on this play. And this is where I say the whole team looked soft. We all saw. Everybody saw. After this week, though, they got physical. And I think that's because they were embarrassed when they watched this film. After this week, they got physical. All right, let's see here. All right, this is the Texans game. This is another explosive play. So Mozzie's in good position. So is Parsons. They're setting. They're in their gaps. But on the back end, you can see here they cut Chauncey's legs out, right? On the front side, everybody's in pretty good position. But on the back side, they said we're going to get to Chauncey. Did they trap block him? Let's see what they did to Chauncey. Nope, they didn't even trap him. They just went straight up the field and chopped his legs out. And that was enough room for them to tear this up. And McCormick, and nobody really wanted to tackle after that. But again, let's watch where our safeties are. And the reason I talked about this because safeties stop these explosive plays even when something goes wrong up front. Boom. So what goes wrong up front? Chauncey gets out leveraged, and Mukuamu doesn't make this tackle. This is Mukuamu's tackle to make. But look where both Hooker and Wilson is on this play. Right? Look where they are. They can stop this play if they're fast enough. That's why I say they both are past their prime. Because the old Hooker would have made this play. The old Wilson makes this play. The young ones made it, not the old one, put it that way. The Hooker of old makes this play, though. Hooker and Wilson both can't make this play, though. They both don't make this play. Boom. And then Diggs doesn't want to make the play. Why are you breaking down right here, Diggs? Watch Diggs. He's going to break down right there. Look, boom. Why you break down? Where are you at? What are you watching? Why it takes so long for you to even accelerate? And he's accelerating, but look at the speed difference right here. Boom. Wilson can't do shit. He's slower than a linebacker at this point. Right? Boom. So front side, everybody's doing pretty good here. Backside, Chauncey gets cut there. Boom. Mozzie did his job there. I ain't got a problem with that. If it stayed front side, he makes this play. Now, this is where I have a problem. On the backside contain, that is both Chauncey's job and it's Mukuamu's job. Mukuamu has the leverage. He got held a little bit, but not enough to stop all that. The effort, nobody wanted to play. Dallas Cowboys are a talented, cute team. They need to be physical. So Schottenheimer's not wrong for asking for that because they play like pussies. They do. If they can beat you, they're bullies. They're front runners. If they can beat you up and they're stronger than you and they're just better than you, they'll win. If you're tougher than them, you'll beat them every time. Tough teams will whoop our ass. But it doesn't help when your edges are like this. Now, I just showed you Wilson on almost every explosive play. He's a non-factor. Is he a factor here? Let's see. He got pushed out of there that time. Watch the tight end. So Wilson's in the box. Watch the tight end. He just said I had to get his outside shoulder. That's all he does. Get his outside shoulder and it's one-on-one with Bland. I don't blame Bland. What the hell can Bland do? But just he out there by himself with a tight end pulling. The integrity of defense is already destroyed. And then Hooker can't get there either. Boom. All right, touchdown. Boom. All right, so here. Chauncey too. This is Chauncey's play to make. All three of those guys out there on that side, they all have backside contained. Boom. So Wilson just got moved. Chauncey got his hips turned inside because he's playing the running back, which he should never do in that position. Why? Because you got help up front. If that running back is actually keeping the ball, he done anyway. Don't matter. Boom. Everybody got pancake, but soft shit right there. That was soft. All right, another explosive play here. What's happening here? Boom. That's just the quarterback running up the middle of the damn field. Wanye tackles him. Why did I put this play in there? Is there anything special happening here? It's just an explosive play. I don't know why I put it there. Ain't no Mozzie on the field, though. You see that? There was a lot of running yards. You see that? It's a passing play, though. But see, these are the plays that give your running defense bad rankings because the quarterback's running. But when you look at true run, that's all I look at is true run, meaning you got to watch the film to find true run because there is no stat or there aren't many stats unless you go into the box score to see how many run yards or rushing yards the quarterback had versus the running backs. Did the running backs run on you all day? Or did the quarterback do shit like this and give them an extra 40, 50 yards, an extra 60, 70 yards on the ground like this here? You know what I'm saying? So got to pay attention to that. Now, is Mozzie on the field? No. But let's see. Explosive play? Yeah. Okay. I thought that Linval Joseph and the other guy, Phillips, thought they were the veterans. They supposed to be the good ones, right? Well, we need some veterans in front of Mozzie. We gave him veterans. That's what they did. Nothing. Explosive runs. Let's see what happens there. Nothing to do with Wilson here, but y'all asked me about the safeties. I know they're in it. I know Wilson about to get beat in a second. Boom. Linebackers were hesitant on that play. Oh no, this is what I need you to watch. Watch Phillips. Watch Phillips. So watch this. Now, if this was Mozzie, bruh, I ain't hear nobody talk about this, right? This happens to even good players because we thought Phillips was good, and Phillips was good in DC. I mean, in New York with the Bills, right? Number 98. Watch 98. Watch this. This is when you're not tough, folks. Watch 98. Watch this. Watch this. Woo! Wow. He looked like a dead body roll. He slid all the way across the field. Look at this. If this was Mozzie, what would we say? What would we say? Oh boy. Oh boy. That's bad John right there. That's a bad John. Look at this. That was Mozzie. We'd be talking shit today. I would too. Boom. They flatlined that man. God damn. Oh, this live game footage. Mozzie got flipped over there. Watch this. Boom. Another outside run. Now watch what happens here. This is holding, but they're gonna say I'm taking up for him. Now, is that holding? Are they hugging? And even though he couldn't have made that play anyway, D-Law is out leveraged too, right here. Boom. So he's out leveraged automatically by a tight end here. Boom. All right. So they're pinning and pulling. All right. 50 supposed to be scraping. He's waiting. So that's already wrong because you already got that receiver in position to meet you. So you ain't going to beat that. Even if you do blow this block up, you ain't going to beat it. And Mozzie, look at them hugging him. He hugs, hug. That is holding. That's holding. This play should have came back. But they ain't going to call it. But cool. Mozzie know he ain't gonna get that anyway. You know why? Because you ain't a marquee player, bro. It's like LeBron get the fouls, Jordan get the fouls. Mozzie ain't gonna get that call. Boom. All right, cool. Mozzie ain't in there. Explosive play. Is it explosive? Yes. Outside. Now, can Wilson help us out here? Can your safety play help you out here? Now, what's wrong here? Parsons is too far up the field on this edge. So he goes upfield too far. Boom. That creates space right there. Where now, even though Demo is in the proper position, Parsons is too far up. So it's going to create a window where he can knife in there. See that? Boom. Now, if Parsons is flat with this line, there's nowhere for him to go but into the B gap. And then both Joseph and Kendricks can make this play. 13, Demo can't make this play. Boom. He gets his head kind of rocked too. He get rocked. Demo get rocked on this play. Pop. His head went back and all that. He got rocked. Parsons too far upfield, and Kendricks is caught in the kill zone, stuck in quicksand. And Wilson. Now Wilson, he bit on that he bit upfield, and he has no speed to get outside. I think I showed that play already anyway. Boom. Boom. Same play again. Showed that play. I don't like that. I didn't like that play. All right, let's see what's happening here. Boom. Body gets pushed out of there. Everybody kind of out of position. Let's see what's happening here. Parsons comes down the line. D-Law stays home. Mozzie gets yanked up out of there. And young man, Morris Leofile, that was supposed to be his play to make. He was out of position. Boom. That should have been a stop for no gain from Morris. Boom. All right. What are we doing here? Now, look at the edge that Chauncey set here or didn't set. And I like Chauncey, but somebody got to be over. Somebody has backside contain, and it can't be. It's 18 and Chauncey, both Clark and Chauncey. Boom. Y'all cannot get caught in there, because then you're leaving Wanye out there by himself. Boom. And Wanye, you can't take an inside move too. All three of these guys on the back end took an inside track to the ball, which they should not have. Don't go inside. You got to go. Somebody got to play the outside shoulder. Nobody did. Boom. So you missed. Boom. Diggs and Wilson clean that up. All right. Parsons bit here. Oh, not this play. Explosive plays, though. I'm just calling everybody who did something wrong out. I don't care who it is. Mozzie, everybody. Anybody who did something wrong on all the explosive plays, I think it was 61 explosive plays. All of them are here. And you can count them off. So, yes, do we need Mozzie consistently playing well in the as the nose or in the B gap and the A gap? Yes. But the explosive plays were not coming from those gaps. They were C gap and over the top. That's just boom. All right. Boom. Parsons stepped inside, played the running back. What's on the backside of that? Nothing. Can't do that, sir. Can't do that, sir. Especially against that team. That means you're not watching film. Here again, crashing inside. Boom. So where's Parsons and D-Law? Too far inside. They don't need to be in there. Why y'all in there? That ain't your job in there. Watch this. Watch Parsons. Boom. So watch D-Law. They both did the same thing on this play. That ain't their job. That ain't your job. This play would have been made without y'all. Play would have been made in the middle. Watch this. You weren't needed here. You were needed out there. Boom. See what happens here. Is Nealon and Parsons on the outside? Do they set the edge? Is this a throwing play? Boom. Nope, it's a running play. Same thing. Parsons went upfield on a pass rush, and now he left Demo exposed out there. No, it wasn't even Demo actually reset the edge, which is fine. Now they're cutting back behind. So Linval Joseph got pushed out of there, and they're cutting back behind Wilson right here. Boom. Nealon gets in there and get some of that. But let's watch what happened in the middle of the field. Why did this happen? Linval gets pushed back, and Osa can't free up because he's getting held. But whatever, he still should have. One of those guys should have made that play. It went right in the A gap. Here they go again, A gap again. Let's see what happens here. Parsons stays home this time. Let's see if Nealon does his job on the other side. Nealon gets caught there. And boom. Demo does a good job of trying to recover that, though, attacking the outside shoulder and hitting the guard, so forcing the ball back inside. Boom. Parsons comes and cleans the play up after that. But that would have been even worse if Demo doesn't do what he did just now. All right, now watch Wilson on this play. We were talking about Wilson before, right? All right, so watch Mozzie. Look at Mozzie and you'll see Wilson, right? And see Parsons. Parsons, what does he do? Set his edge. He didn't get too far upfield. He did his job, right? Mozzie holding these guys. He's really defensive holding. I'm not bullshitting. He's holding on to them. They're trying to get up the field, but he's holding on to them. But behind him, the first step, which was wrong, right here, watch 6. That's your gap 6. But he jumps into Kendrick's gap. So him and Kendricks are going to be in the same place, right? Boom. And now they left this wide open. Bam, bam. Don't like it. Boom. Mozzie got moved here. Is he moved or is he holding? Let me see. I don't know. He's holding. So Mozzie's holding these guys. There is no pass rush move or defensive move that requires you to reach out and grab an offensive lineman that's trying to run by you. He's holding them so that the linebackers can stay free. But Parsons is not at home because he's watching the running back, which he shouldn't be doing. Boom. And he gets beat. Explosive play. Again, that's 2 on Parsons already. Boom. That's the edge here. This time Parsons does and Chauncey does. Boom. That was that play against Mozzie that we showed already. Showed that earlier. Explosive play to the outside again. Boom. Who's this on? Parsons is going to get pushed inside here. You see that? He's going to get out leveraged, or they're pinning him here. Boom. And then trying to pull behind him. Morris gets his legs chopped out right there because Morris was supposed to scrape over the top of this. So they beat Parsons and Morris on this one. So they pin Parsons and cut Morris. That kills that whole edge. The edge is no longer set. And now it's wide open. Boom, boom. See that? All right, let's see what we got here. Parsons setting the edge. No one sets the edge on the opposite side. Whose job was that? Okay, so you got D-Law is all the way inside, right? So I don't even like the alignment. Why is D-Law over here? But I guess it's supposed to be like the 3-4 look. So I guess Morris is now the outside linebacker. He is, because Parsons is a stand-up linebacker right now. So is Morris. So Morris is the outside linebacker. You're the one that has to set this edge, Morris. Let's see what he does. Morris steps inside. And so, but again, look at Wilson. So if Morris is inside, Wilson should stay where he is. Wilson steps inside. Look where Wilson is. By the time the ball gets handed off, he's inside. Kendricks is inside. Morris is inside. There's nothing outside. This is an easy read for a running back because Wilson's not doing the job here. Boom. See that? You left Trayvon Diggs out. So if the corners and your defensive backs play this way, I can guarantee y'all we ain't gonna look good. Not early. We ain't gonna look good. Boom. Let's see. He gets now. Look at Wilson on this play. You know what I'm saying? Now this play, he shoots up the field. And he's reading the jet sweep. Boom. So he read the jet. Get that? You see that? It was designed for him too, but he read the jet. And let's see who was supposed to be setting the edge here. Parsons is on the end. There's really nobody that's true edge. Let's see what Parsons' first step is, though. He tries to set it, but you see the fullback is going to push him further inside. And then so they got rid of that gap exchange between Parsons and Wilson by just pushing Parsons all the way out of his gap and then having Wilson distracted by the jet sweep. So boom, both of those guys are just gone. So now you see Kendrick's trying to escape and replace that. He gonna get met by he got to get his outside shoulders, which he does, turn this ball back inside, but he gets met by that pulling tackle, and boom. Demo gets rid of his guy and makes the tackle. Let's watch what Demo. Demo has to be hero on this play, or he gets killed. Watch this. Oh, I went past it. Look at Demo throw 88. You see him? Watch Demo on this play. Watch him throw 88. If he doesn't do that, it's even worse. But he was a hero on that one, but he was a hero doing his job, not a hero doing someone else's. Let's see what happens here. But we watched this one already too. I watched all those other dudes get caved in like bussies. That hurt my feelings. Boom. Watch this. Boom. Too much space on the back end. Jesus Christ. Those edges, man. Those edges, man. There go your bull arm tackling. If he got that check, Wilson got that check. He don't want to tackle no more, man. What is it? Boom. All right, so Lawton is setting his edge. Boom. He's not too far upfield. Demo's over there. Oh, Lawton is kind of upfield, but this should be made by Demo. Demo couldn't disengage to make this play. And then Wilson tried to grab him. Ball still going. He's still going. Boom. Let's watch this again. So here's the other thing. I'm trying to understand how we're watching multiple players play super soft ball, right? Multiple players playing soft and out of position. And we keep saying that our defensive tackles are our biggest concern, our issue. And that is not our biggest concern. Our biggest concern is how we play the edges. That's been our biggest concern. Here, Mozzie ain't on the field. This is Watkins and Linval Joseph. Watch this, boom. They get pushed. That's why I said the whole team got beat up by Detroit. It wasn't just Mozzie. Mozzie got beat up by them too, but everybody did. Here go Wilson again. Boom. This is your safety play, though. Watch your safety play, because that's what we were asking about. Y'all were asking about the safeties. So defensive tackles got moved easy. Watkins got moved. Now, Detroit's line is fucking good. Now, right here, this is where your safety comes into play, though. You got to make this tackle, Wilson. Wilson is reaching at this guy. He don't want Montgomery. I think that's Montgomery. He ain't want none of that. Boom. 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 They're just running through us. Like Swiss cheese, buddy. All right, Mozzie on the field this time. Let's see what happens. He goes upfield. There's nobody in that gap. Like, look at the space between Wheat and Mozzie. So watch Wheat and Mozzie. Watch both of them. So Mozzie gonna take an inside move, boom, which I think he was supposed to do, because so him and Osa went inside. That means either Wheat doesn't know he's supposed to be crashing inside, or Wheat is doing what he's supposed to do, but Vril or Morris, somebody's supposed to be in this B gap though, for sure. You ain't supposed to be out there waiting for it. And he waits for the fullback instead of converge. So this is non-attack. When you say, well, what's attack versus not attacking? 4-3. This is not attacking. Watch 41. He's supposed to come downhill. He doesn't. 41 waits. See that? Boom. Boom. Nobody's downhill. They're just waiting. So his linebackers were the issue last year too. They were more asked to be coverage linebackers in Zimmer's scheme. Boom. See what happens here. Pop. So on the back end, this is Wheat on the back end, and then look at Carlos Watkins and Linval Joseph both being handled right here, manhandled. Done. There go Wilson. He hit something finally. Mozzie gonna get moved on this play. I remember this one. Watch Mozzie. Yeah, he gets moved. So oh shit. Let me go back. Y'all be thinking I'm trying to like hide Mozzie shit because I done fucked it up. As soon as he come up, they be like, oh, he don't want us to see. I ain't trying to take up for him. Watch this. He got moved here. But so is everybody else. There's like space and opportunity against the Niners. Ew. Where is everybody? Where is everybody? I don't even know what the fuck we called, but it didn't look like they knew what the play was. Like nobody looked like they playing fast. They don't even know what's going on. See what's happening here. All right, back end. So you see backside contains going to get cut. Boom. Going to cut off of that. He gone. Boom. Yeah. Probably more of the same. Shut up. Coming. QB scramble. Quiet, Bear. That was just some trickery. He put his shoulder down, too. He said, fuck y'all. I ain't scared of y'all. Brock Purdy. Ew. Killing the edges. These are all the explosive plays against us last year, y'all. Where are they? Where are they taking place? Where are they taking place? Usually. It's too easy to get outside on us, yeah. This game right here. And this was a tight game. It was 24. Right now, it's 24-26. I mean, 24-30. Right now. This is the end of the game. It's 24-30. We had a chance to get the ball back and get back on the field. Right? All right. Who has edge control? Who has edge? That is all these guys over here, Wilson included, and Bell and Demo, and those guys they're supposed to create some sort of traffic over here. Boom. Everybody can't be cutting inside, but they are. Bell, you're done. Wilson, you're done. Bell is not fast enough to deal with it, and he's done. And then they fucking slid on us, and that's that. Game over. Boom. Mozzie did a good job up there. Boom. At first. Then he gets beat. Let me see what he's doing. Who's setting the edge? That's Wheat. Wheat tries to set the edge, kind of gets pushed out of there. All of them get pushed out of there. Ew. That's why you don't wait for action. I didn't like that either. You missed a lot. I've been on here for 3 hours, bro. So I'm about to stop it in a second. When I stop it, after this clip is over, you can go back and watch its entirety. But it's been nothing but film for 3 hours. All right, here we go. Boom. Outside, folks. So all the explosive plays, most of the explosive plays that we've watched, and these aren't pass plays, these are just running explosive plays. I got pass plays in here too. But most of the big plays against the team, though, were on the ground, not in the air. They weren't throwing the ball up the field on us. They was running it. Oh, these must be explosive runs. That's what it is. Yeah. It wasn't just big plays, because I know I got big plays that I'm throwing, and they're not in here. I wanted to show you what your guy Wilson was doing in those plays as well. Oh, let's pay attention to when the Eagles are running the ball, who are they running at? Are they running at Mozzie? No. That's Osa right there on the ground. I told you that was a QB scramble, though. I mean, I don't kill you for that. Let's see who else. Boom. Mozzie ain't in there. That was Chauncey. Nice little draw play, though. Mozzie ain't in there. This is Chauncey and Watkins. Boom. Boom. Watkins get thrown down, and they out. Gone. Mozzie in there now. See what happens. Boom. Outside run, though. Boom. And they got outside because of what? What happened out there? Oh, Mozzie Micah crashes inside from out there. Boom. Yep. You can't tell me they called that though. They did not call this. He wasn't supposed to crash inside here. The reason no, they all did. It's just bad play call by Zim because your linebackers are all shifted to the left. You see that? So you see Demo over here, you see Kendricks in the middle of the field, and now you see the last line of defense back there is this is good by Kellen Moore, I tell you. But the last line of defense is J. Lou, and you see him streaking across the field right now with that jet sweep, right? He's following the jet. That means there's nobody setting the edge, and Micah Parsons is supposed to be crashing inside. That is weird. That's weird, folks. I don't know if it's a play call. Let me see. What's the first step of the rest of those guys? Mozzie and Osa made the same first step as Parsons. But Parsons got 3 people now because of his step. Meaning he stepped inside of 3 linemen that are just looking for bodies out. They ain't even got no work out there because ain't nobody out there. Should have been a touchdown. Craziness. All right, Mozzie not on the field on this one. Where do they get explosive plays when he's not on the field? Up to Gizzard. Boom. Boom. We saw this one. Boom. Oh, this one in the air. Oh, no, there's a ground play too. That was Milson missing on that one. But I can go over. I'm going to do a whole video on a policy violation. Oh, yeah, I think they got me. All right, they got me. All right, so it's cool. I'm done. I'm going to end this stream because they just blocked me anyway. So see y'all. Peace.